swaggering boisterously. His face is weather-beaten. He wears a hooded sash with a silver hat about his head and a bristling black mustache. He growls as he storms the country, a villain big and bold. And the trees all shake and quiver and quake as he robs them of their gold. The autumn wind is a raider, pillaging just for fun. He'll knock you round and upside down and laugh when he's conquered and won.
You know what I like to do? Just follow me on this one.
Raiders, what's good? What's good? Salute everybody. Lots and lots of shit going on the last 48 hours. DA out the door is gone. Yes, I'm out of breath. I was running over here trying to get shit done the last second. Timeout. All right. So, Devontae's out the door. Ready to play for the Jets. The hamstring injury, obviously, wasn't an injury. We'll get into that. Tom Brady news. Tom Brady owns part of the Raiders, 5%. Also, Richard Seymour owns a very, very, very small share. We'll get into that. But Mark Davis said some very, very interesting things that I don't know if everybody's paying attention to or kind of heard what he's saying. And everybody's saying, you know, Tom Brady's going to be the savior. But how much say does Tom Brady actually have in the organization? We'll listen to what Mark Davis has to say about it. We'll break all that down here in a bit. Shout out to the Raiderette. What's good? What's good? Salute. So, yeah. Tom Brady gets a standing ovation at the facility, walking into the door. Everybody's pumped up. The savior is in the building, right? Tom Brady's going to be the savior of the franchise. But, man, let's not forget, you know, Magic Johnson was one of the greatest basketball players of all time. But when it came to coaching or personnel, he was not very, very good. So just because you're a great, great superstar on the field doesn't mean that you're going to be a great owner or leader or trainer or quarterback coach or whatever. But we've seen what he's done with Shedeur Sanders. We'll get into that also here in a bit. See if anybody else pulls up before we start pulling up some of these videos. But, man, what's good with y'all? What's everybody doing on this Thursday night? Kenneth Wilson, what's good? What's good? Salute. Appreciate you pulling up. South Australia, man, what's good? Hey, that's awesome. I am very, very privileged and happy to have you on the show all the way from Australia. I never thought anybody from another country, let alone this country, would be watching my lives. But, man, appreciate you pulling up. Appreciate you pulling up. So, let's just get into it right off the bat. Mark Davis
Said, hey, Tom is a Raider owner now. I'm going to buy season tickets, which means he'll have impact on franchise value. Has anyone considered the read of that?
I don't know if there's any season tickets available, Brady.
Yeah.
So Mark Davis, with our 2-4 Raiders, doesn't know if there's any season tickets available. I mean, unless there's a home or away teams buying season tickets, I don't know if that's possible. Maybe there aren't any season tickets available, but I know there's a whole bunch of empty seats in the stands that are not filled with silver and black. TH3, I guess that's numbers. What's good? What's good? Salute. Hopefully we can win now that DA is out. Tom Brady as an owner. Hope players want to come back in Vegas. We'll get into that also. Because how many players actually want to come to Vegas with the way we keep treating players? You know, in my opinion, yes, Devontae didn't want to be here. He showed. But his play on the field, I mean, people could say whatever, he wasn't given 100%, he was making business decisions, but I don't think the business decisions were on the field. The man's number speaks for himself. James Williams was good, but we absolutely keep doing players dirty. I mean, the list goes on and on. We don't have to start with now. We can go back to, Charles Woodson or Marcus Allen, and, those were Al Davis days, and now his son's doing the same thing. Derek Carr, Josh Jacobs. The list goes on and on for this organization, so I'm not mad at the player. Yes, Devontae was drama, but did he help this organization? Absolutely. Just his presence on the field, and you'll see when he goes to the Jets. In my opinion, he's not going to be the savior over there. They have a lot of issues like we do, but they have a quarterback that'll get him the ball, and he's going to make a huge, huge difference over there, just like he did here when we had a quarterback. His first year with DA was outstanding. So, adios, bon voyage, hola, whatever. Don't let the door hit you. I hope he becomes an all-pro, and I hope they make the AFC Championship or either one, as long as we can get a second-round pick. But I'm happy with the third-round pick. The money's off the books. We're just looking up. Tom Brady in the building. But I want to get on this. Tom Brady in the building. A lot of people are saying he's going to have, or even Mark Davis said himself, he's going to have a hand in picking a quarterback and even training the quarterback. But is it possible for him to even train the quarterback? Because Mark Davis, I don't know, a lot of the times that he talks, he probably shouldn't be talking to the media, in my opinion, kind of how I feel with Antonio Pierce sometimes. Just says things that really shouldn't be said, but let's listen to this. They ask him, Richard Seymour has a fifth of a percentage or whatever that means, a very, very, very small amount in the organization. But let's listen to Mark Davis.
Everybody's going to have a role, whether it's that, but I don't know if you're aware, but they did pass a rule last year or earlier this year that limited partners in the team cannot work for the team. So they can't be an employee at the time. So unless that changes in the near future, that's something that's going to restrict me from having a.
All right, so he was asked about Richard Seymour, and he said limited partners cannot be employees of the team. So what is all this talk about Tom Brady going to be, having say in drafting the quarterback, maybe even training the quarterback, as Mark Davis said, which we'll get to that here in a bit. How is this possible? Minority owners, you just heard him say, cannot have a job with the organization. Tom Brady, isn't he a minority owner? So if somebody knows in the chat, let me know. I'd appreciate it, because I'm very, very confused at this situation. In one hand, he says Richard Seymour, because he's a minority owner, can't be an employee of the team, so he can't basically help out. I don't know if you have to be an employee of the team to help out. I don't know how that goes. So I don't know how big Tom Brady's role is going to be, because like I said, minority owner, can't be an employee of the team. So how is he possibly going to pick this quarterback and groom him along? It just don't make sense to me. But then he says this statement right afterwards.
Tom Brady to play in your organization.
Well, it's.
Wait, first off, can y'all hear this? Am I just playing it for nonsense? Is anybody listening? Put a thumbs up in the chat if y'all heard the last one, please, so I know I'm not just playing it for my health. All right, well, I guess nobody's listening, so I'm playing it for my health. So,
kind of putting the cart before the horse. We wanted to get to this point first before we started defining anything of that nature and all that. But it's just exciting. Crosby says we traded Devontae Adams for Tom Brady. And although Tom can't play, I think he can help us select a quarterback in the future and potentially train him as well.
Although Tom can't play, he can probably help him select a quarterback and train him as well. But on the other hand, he just said Richard Seymour couldn't help out because he couldn't be an employee of the team if he's the owner. So I don't know how this works. I'm sure they'll figure it out and sort it all out. But what Tom Brady brings to this organization is class, is knowledge, a winning culture, work ethic, a lot of things that this franchise definitely can use. So, man, I wish it all the best. Do I plan on him just coming in and changing it around? We'll get to that next week. But I have a video coming out. I'm going to break it all down. Tom Brady takeover. Because it seems to me that there might be a lot of things going on behind the scenes now that Tom Brady has his hands on the organization. But what I don't understand is after he just said, if you're a minority owner, you can't be an employee of the team. So he was already in Mark Davis's ear. He's been in Mark Davis's ear the whole entire time. You know, they're partners with the Aces. He has a connection with the quarterback everybody's saying the Raiders want to go get, and Mark Davis is very, very highly of, and he's very highly of his father. So yeah, he's definitely gonna change stuff around. But how many changes will be made? Where does AP stand in all this? You know, you got content creators saying they have people that work in the head office of the Las Vegas Raiders, and they know stuff that nobody else knows because this person in the head office is talking. Which, for one, if the person in the head office that you know is talking, why aren't people questioning who's working in the head office and who's talking and relaying this information that shouldn't be put out? And the same person that said that, you know, made videos about other content creators putting information out that would hurt the team. How is it not hurting the team if you have information saying, you know, if AP doesn't win more than 8 games, he's going to be down the road? Then you have other content creators coming out saying they have it on very, very high sources that AP's not going anywhere no matter what happens this year. He's good till next year. So there's a lot of crazy things going on, but I kind of find it not a coincidence that Devontae's traded on the same day. You know, Tom Brady, Mark Brady. Either way, you know, was brought to this organization to help it out. Let's listen to what Gronk has to say, because Gronkowski is one of the best tight ends of all time. Obviously, he played a long time with Tom Brady. I think he has 4 Super Bowl rings, not as many as Tom, obviously. Correct me if I'm wrong. What's good, Tatted? I thought you was already in here. You can drop a link in there too. My link, not yours. But let's listen to what Gronk has to say on the K Adams show. Shout out to K Adams and Gronk.
Knows he has to have a great team around him in order to, you know, thrive. And Tom Brady is going to do what Tom Brady does. He's going to help that team that's around him thrive to the highest level as well. He's going to perform and do his job, but he knows what it takes to get to the highest level, and that's surrounding yourself with other talent as well. And that's what he has done, obviously, on the field when he was playing, and now he's done it off the field while he's playing too. And if Tom just puts in any effort like he did preparing for a game, even 10% of the effort preparing for a game the way that he prepared week in and week out, he will be successful outside of football. And that's what he's been doing.
Can y'all hear this? So there you go. Gronkowski says if Tom Brady just puts in half the work he did when he was in the NFL, he's going to be successful. But somebody's going to have to work out these kinks, because if you're a minority owner and you can't be on the field, I mean, I guess he can't get paid to be a trainer of whatever quarterback we bring in or groom this guy. So It's echoing like a motherfucker? What are you talking about? The video sound? Oh. Alright, man. That's probably why, dude. Try this. One more time. That's probably why everybody left. LVR, what's good, what's good, what's good? What's good, what's good? Shout out D Menace, LVR. I don't know what's going on with this sound, but let me know if y'all can hear this. Mark Davis trying to joke around about season ticket sales.
One of my viewers said, "Hey, Tom is a Raider owner now. I'm going to buy season tickets," which means he'll impact on franchise value. Has anyone considered the agree to that?
I don't know if there's any season tickets available, Brady.
Yeah. Gotcha.
Mark Davis doesn't know if there's any season tickets available. That's absolutely crazy. Have they not seen the stands? They sure the hell aren't covered in silver and black. So could y'all hear that? Thumbs up. Was it echoing like hell? Let me know, please. Oh my God. Damn, so there you go. Mark Davis trying to be funny. Was it still echoing? The video has an echo. Oh, damn it. So I'm going to have to go get headphones or not play videos then. Well, oh. You sound good. The video has an echo. Right on. Appreciate it. Well, then I guess no more videos if the damn thing's echoing because I don't have my headphones right here. But anyways, so Mark Davis, if y'all just pulled up on the video, because it has an echo, you probably couldn't hear it, but Mark Davis was trying to be funny, asking about season tickets because Tom Brady was going to be there, and somebody said that one of their listeners said they're going to buy season tickets to the Raiders now that Tom Brady's there, and they're not even a Raiders fan, which I don't know if he was joking. Just turn down the... That's what I just did. All right, I'm going to try this one more time.
Viewers said, "Hey, Tom is a Raider owner now. I'm going to buy season tickets," which means he'll impact on franchise value. Has anyone considered the agree to that?
I don't know if there's any season tickets available, Brady.
Yeah. Gotcha.
Does it still have an echo? Much better. Fine. Cool. All right. Bet. All right. So, man, shout out everybody for pulling up. But the only thing about doing that is I have to turn down my mic, and then I have to be smart enough to realize I turned down my mic and not sit here and talk for 20 minutes when nobody can hear me. No, Tom could get tickets. He can get tickets. He just got to go up in the booth with Mark Davis. I'm saying one of the guys that was recording the interview said one of his listeners said they were going to go buy season tickets now that Tom Brady was in the building. But now listening to this is what, if somebody could help me out, if anybody's still in here, is one interview or one part he says Tom Brady's going to have, say in drafting the quarterback, say in training the quarterback. But then on the other hand, when they ask him about Richard Seymour, listen to what he says.
These are respected voices to you that.
Richard's everybody's going to have a role, whether it's that. But, I don't know if you're aware, but they did pass a rule last year or earlier this year that limited partners in the team cannot work for the team. So they can't.
All right, so they passed a rule last year that limited partners of an organization cannot work for the team. So if that's the case, why is everybody going crazy about Tom Brady and how much say he's going to have? And why did he have to buy part of the team? Because he's already been in Mark Davis's ear without being part owner. So I'm kind of confused. Maybe D Menace, Billy D, what's good? One of y'all could let me know what this means, because I'm just lost. I don't understand how 1 minute you could say Tom Brady's going to be involved in drafting the quarterback, also training the quarterback, but then on the other hand, Richard Seymour can't be an employee because he's part owner, but Tom Brady's a part owner too. So it just makes no sense to me. But let's listen to what Mark has to say about Tom Brady. Let's do this first. Oh, wait, no. Actually, let's finish the rest of that one.
Can't be an employee at the tournament. So unless that changes in the near future, that's something that's going to restrict him from having a real role.
These are respected voices to you that
Absolutely.
have your ear. Yeah.
Richard Seymour just went into the Hall of Fame. He played for the Raiders. He played for my father. There was mutual respect between the two of them, and we're really proud to have Richard as part of our organization.
And Tom, in the same vein with Tom just being a voice that, you know, will have a...
So he asked, will Tom be in the same band, just having a voice in the organization? And here's what he has to say.
Expect Tom Brady to play in your organization?
Well, you know, it's kind of putting the cart before the horse. We wanted to get to this point first before we started defining anything of that nature and all that. But it's just exciting. Proud to say is we traded Devontae Adams for Tom Brady. And although Tom can't play, I think he can help us select a quarterback in the future and potentially train him as well.
So although Tom can't play, he will help select the quarterback of the future and perhaps train him as well. Bro, I have to switch my phone. All right, cool. Maybe because Seymour only has 0.5% of the team. Well, he says minority owner. Minority owner is Tom Brady. He's not a half owner. So that would make him a minority owner. So it doesn't matter if it's 5% or 0.5%. You're still a minority owner. So Mark Davis is just talking in circles. Like, I don't know how much, there's all kinds of restrictions on Tom Brady. He can't be in other teams' locker rooms. He can't interview other players. I don't know what the other restrictions are. You can't talk to guys. You can't commentate about you can't criticize the officiating. So he has all kinds of stipulations that he has to follow. And I think they're going to just add more stipulations now that they heard Mark Davis saying he's going to be involved in drafting the quarterback and possibly training him. LV-R, what's good? It's because Seymour only owns 0.5%, which is a small amount, whereas Tom owns 10%, which is roughly 1/5 of Mark's shares. Tom only owns 5%, and his partners own the other 5%, which is 3 people or 4 or 5 people involved in the other 5%. And all those are still minority owners, so it just makes no sense. Kenneth Wilson, what's good? But if Tom Brady, does have a say in the organization and who the quarterback will be, he's been training with Shedeur Sanders since 2000 or 2020. You can go check Shedeur's Instagram. I didn't have time to pull up. I had some photos. I didn't want to pull the videos up because I didn't want to get flagged again, or not flagged, but reported again by somebody. So if you want to go over to Shedeur Sanders' Instagram and check it out, there's all kinds of stuff with him working out with Tom Brady, videos with him working out with Tom Brady all over the internet. It's been an ongoing thing. They have a very, very tight relationship. He also has a tight relationship with Deion Sanders. Could Deion Sanders be involved somehow in this mix? We know Mark Davis wants Shador Sanders. He's talked to him. We've heard clips of what they were saying at the Aces game. So he's definitely has his eye on Shador Sanders. But let's listen to what Gronkowski has to say about what Tom Brady will bring to this team, because this surprised the hell out of me. Like, I knew Tom Brady, was a beast at quarterback. I knew he was the man. But this is probably something that nobody knew about Tom Brady. And if this is the case with Tom Brady, bro, this is going to be absolutely crazy.
Good point, and that's the truth. Tom knows talent better than anyone else. He knows how to evaluate a player. I remember just being one-on-one with him in meeting rooms, and he's going over the guys that are covering me, and he can break them down in literally 1 or 2 minutes to the T. He can tell you their skill set. He can tell you their weaknesses. He can tell you their strengths, and that's what Tom...
Yo, so that's absolutely wild, because if Tom is allowed to help the team and is allowed to evaluate players, he was seen at practice, far away from a distance view the last couple days. I know he's got I don't know what his schedule is with Fox, how much time he can put in with the Las Vegas Raiders, but could you please tell him to go look at these running backs and show Mark Davis, whoever makes the decisions, Tom Telesco, that these running backs are just not it, bro. I was going to do what's on film today. It's usually Thursday. I didn't get to it because I just could not choose, to be honestly, whatever that means. To be honest, I really couldn't choose what videos I wanted to break down because it was bad, dude. Like, it was bad. People say, it was a close game, and in the first half, it really wasn't that bad. A lot of people are bitching at, Dylan Labe. He lost the game because he fumbled. Bro, the game was still 12-7 at the half, and we came out and just ran some crazy plays. The drive was going good. We got one penalty, and then I don't know what happened to Luke Getsy after that, but he just kind of fell apart for a while and then kind of snapped back into it later down when it was how everybody calls garbage time. But if Tom Brady can evaluate the players on the team and give some insight on this, we should have new running backs within next week, bro. Because from what I've seen on tape, I want to apologize to Luke Getsy, because the first couple weeks I've been saying Luke Getsy's offense isn't that bad. Even with Gardner Minshew, there's plays to be made. There's guys open. Gardner's just not finding the guys. We had the same problem with Aiden O'Connell. I'm not going to lie. There was some guys open on film, and I will probably break it down tomorrow. If anybody wants to watch, I know on Friday. Actually, I'll probably just put it in a video. That way it doesn't get flagged. I'll just make a video. What's on film? Go check it out. Make sure you watch the video, please. Help me out. I obviously been shadow banned because my last lives, videos, shorts, everything I put up have no comments. Nobody seen it. Nobody liked it. So I don't know what the hell is going on with YouTube, but somehow, obviously, since I was reported and they flagged my shit 2 weeks ago doing film breakdown, that I need to get out of this shadow ban. So I'm going to start doing videos again. Also, not just lives. So I'll just put it in the live, but man, it might, or just put in a video, but it might be 2 videos, an offense and a defensive video, because there is a lot on tape to break down of how bad these running backs are, how bad the tackling is. I mean, it's no secret we have 80 missed tackles in 6 games. That's over 10 a game. That is just not cutting it for a team that's supposed to be a top, a defense that's supposed to be a top 10 defense. It looks very, very, very bad. But what Gronkowski is saying, bro, if that is true, if Tom Brady could just look at a player on film and break that dude down in a couple minutes, tell you his strengths, his weaknesses, and how you could beat that dude, man, this is really, really, really going to help this organization. But if that's the case, it's going to be a long, long, long road there, because I believe it's a rebuild it's going to get blown up. There's a lot of guys that were not signed last year that are on, contract years, and they weren't signed for a reason. And that reason obviously is they knew this team wasn't as good as we were hyping it up to be, or I was hyping it up to be. I'll take all the credit. I hyped the shit out of this team. I thought we were going to be way better than we were. Yes, injuries have killed us. I thought it was the play calling, but man, it's really a lot of personnel. It's a lot of personnel when it comes to running backs having wide open, completely wide open lanes to the outside where you got 25 yards of field because you have the middle of the field and the whole outside with nobody there, and you're running into flipping piles. I do not understand it. I don't see how the coaches do not see it. D-Menace, shout out for putting the link in Instagram. But yeah, so if Tom Brady, like I said, if he can, and even if he can't be on the field or working for the organization, like Mark Davis said, just the fact that he can watch tape, I'm sure he could be in the facility watching tape with these guys as an owner, right? That's not prohibited as far as I know. It's definitely rebuild. We have 21 free agents next offseason. I think we only keep about 8 of. Do we really have 21 free agents next year? That's the whole team, bro. That's the whole entire team. So, what 8 do you think we keep, LVR? Let me know. Drop it in the comments, bro. What 8 guys do you think we're going to keep? There's been talks about Maxx Crosby trade. I brought it up last week. If we are in a rebuild, it really, really makes sense to get rid of Maxx and let him go somewhere like Devontae and not ruin the rest of his career. Let him have a chance to maybe get Defensive Player of the Year. It would suck to not have him do it in Las Vegas. All he's put in, the blood, sweat, and tears. But, bro, I guess we'll just get straight to the video. I don't think I'm going to be on here live that much. But let's get into this. Maxx to the... Oh, wait. I got to finish the Gronk one. What am I doing? Hold up. Let me finish Gronk. What he has to say.
Brings big time is just, to the table is just being able to know the skill set of a guy and what, type of player he is and what, types of strengths and weaknesses that the guy has and what situations that this guy will, survive and thrive in as well. Well, that's a good point.
No. Raider Ryan. Salute, my guy. What's good? What's good? Billy D says he ain't going nowhere, man. Like I said, that's what we thought about a lot of these players. That's what we thought about. Charles Woodson wasn't going nowhere. Marcus Allen wasn't going nowhere. The list goes on and on of guys. Khalil Mack. Bro, it goes on and on and on. I thought when we got Crabtree, I thought, Michael Crabtree would be here for a while. Dude played his ass off. I thought in Vegas, what, 1 or 2 years gone, 1 or 2 years. So, bro, there's a lot of players that this organization does dirty. They do a lot of things dirty, and it's going to be hard to get players to come here and play. But is Maxx really worried about, his time with the Las Vegas Raiders? Because him and Devontae were pretty close. They were good buddies. It was crazy. They were always showing up, dressed the same. Just two great minds think alike. But let's not forget one major thing. Damn, that shit me late. Excuse me. Let's not forget one major thing. Who were the 2 guys that vouched for Antonio Pierce the most on that team? You don't have to put it in the chat, but if you do, that's cool because it helps the algorithm. The more you comment, the more it helps. But, bro, Maxx Crosby said, if AP is not hired, I might go somewhere else. I might have to rethink my future, right? Devontae Adams also said, if Maxx Crosby's not hired, if AP's not hired, he wasn't leaving, obviously, because we already knew he wanted out. But still, he bounced for AP. He went to bat for AP. A lot of guys on this team went to bat for Antonio Pierce, but the two guys that went to bat for Antonio Pierce the most were Maxx Crosby and Davante Adams. Davante Adams is no longer here. He is now with the Jets. And Maxx Crosby is the only one left that said he really wanted AP to be the guy. And if AP's not going to be that guy because something happens and we're just trash this year and don't make it to, 500, which I don't even think that helps really. Will he be back next year? And if you're Maxx Crosby or anybody on this team, you got to see what they did to Derek Carr. Just pretty much gave him away when they just paid him, re-upped his contract to $160 million. And then Mark Davis lets these guys, Dave Ziegler and Dick Daniels, make all the decisions. And before we know it, DC's gone, which, yes, it was time to move on from Derek Carr. I always was a huge Derek Carr fan. That's always been my dog. But it was definitely time to move on from Derek Carr. But the way we did it was stupid, bro, to pay him all that money and then just let him go. Sit him on the bench for the last 2 weeks. For the last 2 weeks. It was just wrong. It was wrong all the way around. It was wrong for Tom Telesco, as Josh Jacobs says, to not even pick up the phone and call him in the offseason and talk about a contract to see what he wanted. So, there's people saying they offered him so much money, which, yeah, that was the offer. But he said Tom Telesco never even called, reached out to him, or tried to talk to him, which is just garbage, shady work. And the Raiders have always been like that. That's why we are in the situation we have. And that's why we haven't won a playoff game or won shit since 2002, really. And these are the reasons. You have the wrong people in the wrong places doing the wrong shit for themselves, or, so Maxx Crosby, Nate Hobbs, Divine Diablo, all these guys have to be looking at this and saying, damn, could I be next? It's a rebuild. But if you don't believe me, bro, just check out what Mad to the Max has to say.
The team is closer to building towards a win now mode or closer to a rebuild mode?
I don't believe in, I'm not here to rebuild, I'm here to win. So, I don't know whatever that means, but yeah, I'm here to win now. And whoever I'm going to be, I'm going to be here to win. So that's all that matters to me.
I don't do rebuilds. I'm here to win. And wherever I'm going to be, whether it's here, I'm here to win. Why would he throw that in there, whether it's here? Come on, man. Why would Mark Davis, out of nowhere, before they started his interview, say, Maxx Crosby's not even on the trading block, it's not even a talk, not even a subject? Why would you have to bring it up? Like, why even entertain it? Nobody asked you about Maxx Crosby. Why are you just throwing it out there? Hey, before you guys even start, Maxx Crosby's not on the table. Like, come on. And then Max, you could have said, I'm here to be a Raider, not whether I'm here or wherever. I'm here to win. He wouldn't even say the word tank. So he's not down for a rebuild. And if he knows and can see that this team is rebuilding when they're saying they're not, bro, that's a huge problem. A huge problem. And on the other hand, you have a guy over there in the Detroit Lions, and I don't have any of that video because I'm not a Lions fan, and I don't know if whatever. I want somebody to tag him, report my shit again. But the head coach over there, was it Dan Quinn of the Lions, was asked about, do they need to trade somebody to replace for Hutchinson? And his comment was, well, if you go get a guy that's 6'3", 200 and whatever pounds and runs a 4.4 40 with a wingspan, blah, 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 pretty much explaining a Maxx Crosby. He said, how would you go about doing it? Would you trade Hutchinson? there's a lot of things to work out. So they've thought about it, and there's lots of rumors saying that the Detroit Lions have relentlessly asked about Maxx Crosby. They asked before the Devontae trade. They've been asking about Maxx Crosby. He also said on the Rush, when they asked him, what place would you play for if you didn't play for the Raiders? He said there's only one other place, Detroit. The Detroit Lions. They got a good team. They got a good defense. They got a good offense. They got a quarterback. They got a great coach, and that's where he's from. So, I'm just saying, I'm not trying to stir the pot because I hate it when that shit happens. But when there's red flags everywhere and writings on the wall, but you can't really see it clearly, then it's got to be talked about, bro. It's got to be talked about. Definitely got to be talked about. Let's get into the chat, see what y'all's got to say. What to do? Robert Spillane, Devad Diablo, Malcolm Kuntz, Nate Hobbs, Isaiah Palamau, Pau Mau, Adam Butler, DJ Turner. Damn. Well, I guess Trey's under rookie. You don't think they're gonna bring back Jacoby Myers? I think Jacoby Myers will be back. I don't know how many years he has on his contract, but I thought it's only this one or one more. I don't know. Let me know. Somebody, LVR. If you could. Moreg, Tyreek McAllister is questionable. I don't know about Moreg, He has flashes of good. He has flashes of bad. But again, I was supposed to do what's on film today. And watching film, bro, the defense just in the first half. Now, I know the score was 12-7 like we talked about. And the Raiders had every chance to win this game. But there was some plays that if one guy would have just did his job, one man, it's a whole nother ball game. But, that doesn't happen. We can't change the fact that these guys can't tackle. And I really, really wanted to show a clip on here of Nate Hobbs tackling with his head down like a turtle, bro. Dude coming in, running at the ball like this, and drops his head to his chest. I don't know how he didn't break his neck. Like, absolutely horrible technique. And the fact that Antonio Pierce keeps talking about, yes, we're working on tackling constantly. That's what we're working on. We're working on tackling. We're working on wrapping up. And the man comes in and sticks his helmet in somebody's stomach. I don't know. I mean, I love Nate Hobbs. I know maybe, the heat of the moment, you're just trying to tackle somebody. But everything you've been taught since you were wee-high to a grasshopper is put your head on the side of the player and your shoulder pad in their chest. And if he would have done that, he probably would have knocked the ball out because the guy was already falling back. He was already tripped. Robert Spillane tripped him up and just missed him, couldn't wrap up the tackle. But it's bad. It's bad. And if they keep preaching, do your job, finish the play. And if they just would, this team could be really, really good. Not as good as I thought it was going to be at 13-4, but we could still be really, really good if we could just get rid of the running backs we got. Fire both of them, bro. All three of them, because none of them have vision. They're trying to cut in their own lanes. And when you have a guy that's a whole pile of guys and you have a whole outside that you could go to and you stop and wait for TJ Watt, the best defensive tackle in the league, to come up and smack the shit out of you, I don't know what these guys are thinking, bro. And I don't know how they could see it on film and say, Luke Getsy in his presser said these guys are getting better 1% every day. Bro, that's not 1% every day. We're getting 1% worse or 5% worse, it seems like, every day because of dumb, stupid mistakes. And then guys just don't want to play. They give up. They traded Mack for 3 first. He was arguably better at the time than Maxx is now. Just saying. I don't know. I mean, yeah, he was a monster, but come on. Maxx is crazy, dude. Nobody gets as many tackles for loss or pressures. Yes, not always sacks. Yes, he never has turnovers. An interception or a fumble from Maxx Crosby would be absolutely nice this year. One of these years. But I think, man, you could still probably get 2 firsts and 2 seconds. Now, I was being crazy Wednesday, and I said, yeah, I'll trade Maxx in a heartbeat. Give me 3 firsts, 3 thirds, and one of those running backs over there like Gibbs or, damn, I keep forgetting what the other dude's name is. But, yeah, give me one of those running backs and 2 firsts and 2 thirds. I'd take that. Or, shit, probably 2 firsts and a third with one of those running backs, Jahmyr Gibbs, all day. Now, are they willing to give up a 1,000-yard backup running back? Probably not. Are they willing to give up 2 firsts and 2 thirds? Very, 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 very possible. Very possible. Maxx and Adams. And this is why I'm bringing this up again. Because like I said, bro, you just got to look at the writing on the wall and all the innuendos. And I said it way, way, way before Davante was traded. I said it before any of the insiders had any information. I said it last year. Davante was not going to be here because of the contract next year. And he didn't want to be here. As soon as Jimmy G was announced the quarterback, I think he, hung it out. And he did the Raiders a favor by sticking around, by trying to make his value go up and not make the Raiders look absolutely stupid by bringing him here for whatever they gave. What they give, 2 first rounds? I don't know. LVR, let me know. What did the Raiders give for Davante last year? I think it was 2 firsts and a second or some crazy astronomical number that they gave for Davante Adams. And you know how stupid the organization would look to just bring him in for 1 year, let Carr go for nothing, and then have to trade him. So I think it was saving grace for Davante to come in and stick it out as long as he did, knowing, Jimmy G was throwing him hospital balls. The Netflix thing was still bullshit. We talked about that. I'm done talking about it. But he stuck around with Aiden, and I think if they would have just kept Aiden at the beginning of the season, this might have worked a little bit better. But, there was talks. It just all fell in place. The Jets got that thing going on with Hassan Reddick. They have a lot of problems with, the 5 receivers they got that are studs that can't seem to catch the ball. Is it all Aaron Rodgers? Is it all the receivers? We don't know. I wasn't believing on Maxx going anywhere, but just seeing all the facts, Maxx is still young enough to get a big bag somewhere else. Plus Lions was the team he grew up watching. Hometown, damn. I know. See, that's what I'm saying. Like, it just makes a lot of sense. And if he would go anywhere, it would be the Detroit Lions. And how ironic is it that the Detroit Lions are one of the best teams in football right now? And what they're missing more than anything is a defensive end, because they just lost an absolute beast who is up there with Maxx Crosby. No, he doesn't have that reputation yet. He might even be a little bit better. Just doesn't have that motor and can't stay on the field. A lot of Maxx Crosby's ability is because he plays 98% of the snaps, sometimes 100% of the snaps. Nobody else does that. So his production is because he has probably 30% more snaps than any other defensive end in the NFL. So the value could be very, very high. Could it be enough to swindle the Raiders? But if it's a rebuild and Tom Brady's in the building. Now, I also heard a rumor that Tom Brady, damn it, did I pull that video up? Hold on, time out. Son of a bitch. Well, all right. Well, anyways, that'll be on the video. I also heard a huge rumor that said they know from a very, very, very high source, not 1, not 2, but 3 very high sources in the New England Patriots organization that said Tom Brady's very, very first business decision he wants to make is to see if Belichick, yes, Bill Belichick from the Patriots, wants to come be a part of this organization, whether it be general manager, whether it be head coach. I don't know. That's wasn't said. But he did say his very, very first business plan and decision he wanted to make was to see if Belichick would be a part of this organization. Also, you have, Vrabel from the Titans that was also part of the whole Patriot way and the Patriots thing. He don't have a job right now. So it's not looking good for not being a rebuild. Now, Antonio Pierce was asked today in his presser. Was it today? Shit, maybe yesterday. I don't know. But Antonio was asked today or yesterday in his presser if the Raiders were in a rebuild. And before the dude could get out of his mouth, he said no. And then stared at him like he was mad dogging him and was going to bite his ear off, rip out his heart, and feed it to his children, Mike Tyson style, So it wasn't a very good look. And I think AP's not ready for some of these questions. And he panics, bro, when some of these questions are asked. Did I read this? Hold up. At the end of the day, NFL stands for not for long. 1,000, 100,000, million, trillion, billion %. Maxx is my favorite player. But if his time is at this end, long as we get right compensation, which to me is at least 3 first, I would love to get 3 first, bro. But like I said, I would be, what the fuck flip is this chair doing to me? I would love to get 3 first, but again, I would take one of those running backs over there, even their backup running back with 2 first and a second, because we have 2/3 already this year with the Devontae deal, which could be 2 seconds. I'm not holding my breath. I don't think there's any way Devontae has an all-pro year. Maybe second-team all-pro if they can come out and throw for 150 yards a game, him and Aaron Rodgers, for the rest of the season. That would probably put them in the AFC East or the AFC Championship. I could imagine with the receivers they got. If DA's averaging 150 a game, we could, but I'm not holding my breath, bro. That's not ever going to happen. Jacoby is under contract. Nice. What else we got? Keep Madison and Labe. He's a rookie. Bro, don't keep Madison. That dude should have never been brought to this team. I'm telling you, this man is absolutely atrocious. Now put him at fullback. I'm 1,000% with that. But can he block? From what I've seen, bro, I don't even know if he could play fullback, really. But he is scary out there, dude. He's scary. I told you, I played running back, just in high school, which isn't nothing. It's nothing like college or the NFL. But it's the same concept, bro. You don't run into the guys in front of you. You never stop completely, ever. And you hit the hole with everything you have as hard as you want. I mean, as hard as you possibly can. Pause if necessary. Don't be beating up holes like that. But, that's the way I was taught to run the ball. And from what I see in Madison, and I see a lot of people sticking up for him saying he needs to be number 1 back. No, he does not. And yes, he was pretty decent. He had 38 or 39 yards on the first drive, which was half of our yards on the first drive, and they went away from him. But they didn't completely go away from him. They went away from him because when they were handing him the ball, even in the third quarter, the first drive of the third quarter, 2 plays in a row could have been huge, bro. I mean, touchdown to the house. He could go all the way type shit instead of a 5-yard loss type shit because he has no vision. I don't know how tall the dude is, but man, he cannot see these lanes that are opening up. But you got to be able to see, even if you can't see lanes, you got to be able to see 15 guys in front of you in a pile and a whole side of the field left and a whole side of the field right, and you run right into the pile. That is just brain dead, bro. Stupid. Like, sometimes it just looks like these guys are just like, man, hell with this. I'm going to run right through here. I can get through all these guys. No, you can't, bro. It's never going to happen. Never going to happen. Dylan Labe, I would definitely keep Labe, but I'd put that kid in now. I mean, I don't care what everybody says about his fumble. He's not ready for the NFL. Either are the guys that are veterans. Madison, what is it, 4th, 5th year, 6th year? That dude is not ready for the NFL. Amir Abdullah, your time has passed, my guy. You make a couple shifty plays here and there, but once again, as fast as you are and as shifty as you are, I've seen so many plays where they could be big plays. And it's not even if a guy would just make his block, is it if the running back would just see the guy making his block or not be scared of the linebacker coming at him one-on-one and running into a pile. Again, that's all they do is run into piles. I'm not exaggerating. It's over and over and over again. They're constantly running into their linemen, and that's not scheming. It gets blamed on Luke Getsy. And I was talking shit about Cadillac Williams last week, saying it was Cadillac Williams. But I don't think it's Cadillac either, because I keep watching, Vegas Sports and checking out their shit. Go watch it. They have a gauntlet where they're beating the hell out of these guys. They're running the ball through there. But they don't even look like when they're running through there. Like they're way too high. They're not even wrapping up the ball correctly with two hands. Like it's just a nightmare. It's just a nightmare. And these backs are just atrocious, bro. Like I would definitely love to see. I don't know who's still on the practice squad, if it's Sincere McCormick or Brenton Brown, but if they're both there, can we put them both in for this game against the Rams and sit both of these guys? Maybe leave Madison in there. Maybe let Dylan Labe get some more snaps. I thought it was horrible that his first play was a handoff. He fumbles and they pull him out. But that fumble really wasn't what cost us the game. A lot of people want to blame Dylan Labe and, of course, Aiden O'Connell, who had 200 and something yards passing, a touchdown and an interception. Yes, his rating was low, but that's because he had drop after drop after drop. Also, a pass to the outside was Amir Abdullah running for the ball, and everybody's like, man, he threw it way over his head. But if you go back and watch the film, he didn't actually throw it over his head. He tried to lead the receiver or the running back, and the running back just stopped and jumped. And when he stopped and turned to jump, the ball was already over his head, bro. And, of course, Aiden's going to get blamed for that. But if you watch it again and again and again and watch it in slow motion, because I was like, man, should I put this play on here or not? But, yeah, I'll definitely put it in there because it's just dumb nonsense by these guys. They look like they're not trying at all. And, of course, I watch, Red Zone on Sunday if the Raiders aren't playing on the early game. So I'm watching a lot of games, and there's backup running backs that are just way better, making plays with no linemen, with no holes, and they're creating holes. And they're making big, long, huge runs. And these guys are like, we're not doing nothing. And like I said, I apologize to Luke Getsy, bro, because the offense isn't really bad. And it's the same thing with Aiden O'Connell as it was with Gardner Minshew. I've seen a bunch of plays where Aiden looked one way, tried to look and throw real quick, which I don't know who's showing him that or teaching him that, to look off this direction and then just glance at your guy that, you're where he's supposed to be, because that guy hasn't been there. That's just going to end in picks and interceptions. But again, it was his first game. You're throwing to Alex Bachman, DJ Turner, and Harrison Bryant on 3 plays in a row. No Brock Bowers. I don't know. So the scheming, obviously, in personnel is Getsy's fault, because Antonio Pierce put it on Luke Getsy and said, I don't know, man. I don't know. We try to keep our guys healthy. It's a personnel thing. So he's not involved in the personnel. He's not involved in the play calling on offense. He's not involved in the personnel or the play calling on defense. And I just don't see how you can keep your job as a head coach when we're constantly losing and you're not involved in anything. Like, I love the man. I hope he succeeds. Sometimes when he talks, it sounds like, bro, we're ready to run through a brick wall. And then other times it's just the same old Antonio Pierce and the same bullshit. But these running backs are bad, bro. You're thinking of Zamir Madison has played a lot better. He hasn't played better. Like, yes, he has a couple big runs, but other than that, the loss of yardage is absolutely crazy. And if you look at the stats, I don't want to pull them up right now, but if you look at their stats, Madison has 2 more games than Zamir White and is barely above him. So that's not cutting it, bro. Sincere McCormick is the only one on the practice squad. We got rid of Brenton Brown. Damn, I thought he got brought back up too. I don't know where he's at, but I bet he's probably somewhere getting some play time, getting some yardage, maybe soon. Both those guys, dude, Sincere McCormick and Britton Brown, I would take any day of the week over Madison right now. Now, Zamir White hasn't looked good. Maybe he'll learn something, but he's still in limited practice, and that doesn't look good for us. But if you're running half-ass to a hole and then seeing the hole develop and then deciding you're going to cut to a linebacker that's right there waiting for you coming through the other hole, we're never going to have an offense and we're never going to have a run game, which means we're never going to have a pass game because we won't have a play action. We can't run RPOs, and 12 personnel just really doesn't help us and goes out the window if you can't run the football. So somebody has to make some decisions. I think this offense could be a lot better if these guys would just get yards when there's yards to be given. I mean, it's nonstop. And that's why I didn't do film breakdown today, because it would have been like 3 hours of, 2 hours or hour, whatever. I was trying to break down almost every single play. I just couldn't choose. I was like, bro, that's bad. This dude's out of place. He's in the wrong gap. There's 3 guys standing there watching the quarterback run up the middle, and they literally watched him go 5, 10, almost 15 yards before any one of them moved. Literally. I don't know what they were, frozen like a deer in the headlights, but that's that looks bad on coaching. It looks bad on guys that are in contract years doing that, because 2 of them were in a contract year. And it's just horrible. It's just horrible. So what do y'all think? Let me know. What do you think of Tom Brady? What's he going to bring to this organization, franchise? What is going to be his role? And do you think Shedeur Sanders is the quarterback of the future? And how do you feel about Shedeur Sanders? That's a lot. But, yeah. I think from the videos I just watched, and if you go check out the link that my boy D-Menace dropped in there, somewhere up top, bro, Shedeur, I don't know. I thought he was more of a run-first guy, kind of like Jaden Daniels was last year. But the man stands in the pocket, and learning from Tom Brady, and I see Tom Brady correcting his mechanics. And when you hear Tom Brady say, wow, every time the man throws the ball, which I guess if you're getting paid, I don't know if he's getting paid to practice with the kid or not, but, I mean, when you see Tom Brady that excited, it just all signs point to Shedeur coming here, this being a rebuild, and a lot of players and a lot of jerseys that people have aren't going to be around next year, which means if they're going to have players not be around next year, I don't see Antonio Pierce being here. That's just my opinion. Whether he wins or loses, if they're not going to sign some of these guys in free agency, I just don't see him making it. I don't see him being here. I see this move with Tom Brady changing a lot of things for this franchise. Hopefully they're for the good, but I don't see how they could be for the bad. Like I said, with his knowledge, I don't know what the other guys bring to the table. I'm sure just money, and they won't have too much to do with it. But the future definitely looks bright. But the big question is, and probably the last question, is how long? How long until that bright future comes to tuition? Because if it's a rebuild mode, we had a pretty damn solid team right now. With Dick Daniels, we were projected to win all these games, to make it to the playoffs by the media. Then the next year, kind of the same thing. Then they get rid of him. Then we're trash. We're only supposed to win 4 games, 6 games. And pieces and shit just keeps coming out that makes it look like, man, what we thought was a win now team, in my opinion, is going to be a blown up team. And Antonio Pierce can say it's not a rebuild, but all signs right now point to a rebuild. When your head coach can stand up there and say, "Look, we were fine without Devontae the last 2 weeks, and we'll be fine this week." Were we really fine? Really? Did you not see the score? We got beat so bad that I'm sure they probably turned the game off on CBS and switched to another game. Wouldn't be the first time, but come on, man. We're looking at a team for the first time since 1965 has been down by 10 points in every single game this year. By 10 points or more. 10 points or more in every single game. And we lost almost all those. So, yeah, that's not promising. The future looked bright 2 years ago. Then it looked bright again the next year. But now it looks like the future might be bright in 2, 3, 4 years. Because if we go get that quarterback, maybe he can be Mo Nix. Maybe he could be Caleb Williams. Maybe they could be a Jaden Daniels. But the odds of those guys coming in and playing like these kids and these rookies are right now are probably very, very slim. Especially when you have no number one receiver. A tight end that you don't throw the ball to unless it's 5 yards down the field. And running backs that all they can do is catch balls out of the backfield. So, yeah, I don't know what bringing a quarterback in at this point is going to do. I mean, but sign that it's really a complete rebuild and we're bringing in a quarterback to rebuild a team around that quarterback. So Maxx Crosby's future might be slim, but I pray to God that, unless it's 3 first-round picks, like I said, or 2 first rounds and a whole bunch of other things, that he doesn't go nowhere, bro. The man, has it tatted on him. Like I said, that don't mean shit. Josh Jacobs had it tatted on him. Cleve Farrell had it tatted on him. A couple other guys I could think of had Raider tats, are no longer on this team and didn't last very long. I've wanted Shador since last year before he went back to Colorado. Now, see, I like Shador, but one of the biggest things about a quarterback, right, is their QBR, right? Quarterback rating, and then their pass completion rating or completion percentage. And Shador's is what, like 70 something? His QBR, I don't know what it is. 60s, I think 68 something right now. 68%. His passing is like 72. But man, Cam Ward leads in both of those categories. He's a little bit bigger. I don't know. I'm torn, but I just don't see how we get either of those guys without that 4-letter word that starts with a T, ends with a K. Sounds a lot like spank. Not spank your monkey, but spank. I just don't see it happening. So, proves my point is what world where we find what? How am I now? What'd you say? Tony Angel, what's good, my brother? Shout out. Proves my point. In what world where we find? Alright, I read it 3 times, bro. Don't really understand, but I don't know. Can't answer that because I don't know. It was good. Tony Angel. You got demoted? I thought you were Tony. What, Tony the God? I think I asked you this last time. What's good, my brother? What do you think, Mr. Tony? What do you think about the whole Tom Brady thing. Do you think he's going to help us? What is his role? Do you know? Can you help me out? Because I played a video, Mark Davis saying minority owners can't be employees of the team or have really much to do with the team. So I don't know. Where does that leave Tom Brady? That's what we're talking about. And also, what's Maxx Crosby's future? What else? What else? Did I miss? Personally, I was against AP in the beginning from the start purely because he didn't have the experience. Yeah, I know he steps in there as head coach in the NFL. I wanted Antonio Pierce because Marvin Lewis, Tom Coughlin, all those guys in his corner. I thought Jeffrey Klein, what's good. All those guys in AP's corner, I thought would help him out. He's very knowledgeable of football. He can get guys to run through a brick wall. But in my opinion, he's just kind of lost it this year. Like, it's not the same at all. Lions fan, I would be willing to give you 3 first-round picks for Maxx. What is your take on this? Well, I would have to say goodbye Maxx Crosby and goodbye Maxx Crosby jersey because, bro, come on. If you're giving up 3 first rounds, we did it for Khalil Mack. I don't see why we wouldn't do it for Maxx Crosby. I think he deserves better. I think us as Raider fans not deserve better than Maxx Crosby, but deserve better than what we have right now as far as winning, coaching, players, and all of that. Maxx is our only bright spot. Maxx is the heartbeat of this team, and he would be the heartbeat of any team. And I think, if you guys could swing it, if I was the owner or the coach or the GM of the Detroit Lions, bro, I would definitely be on the phone if I had three first round picks to give away. Absolutely. How could you not? Especially when the Raiders are obviously in a rebuild. They gave away Devontae Adams for a 3rd-round pick. Yes, they paid his salary. And yes, we all knew he wasn't going to be here. At least I did. I've been saying forever, it's not if, it's when. Devontae's gone. And when was, 2 days ago. So, absolutely, bro. Only because I don't see this team winning anything. Probably, we definitely ain't making the playoffs this year unless God himself whips this team into shape and we have a miracle. And next year, we're going after a quarterback. It's going to be growing pains with the rookie quarterback. First couple games of the season, just look at Caleb Williams, look at Bo Nix, look at all these guys. So, the best thing really for the franchise, if you're in a rebuild mode and you're planning on going and getting your quarterback of the future, letting Tom Brady making all these decisions, bringing in Belichick or Vrabel or whoever he wants to bring in to help out this organization, because Tom Brady is not going to be involved in losing, and he's not going to put his name on a franchise that's a losing franchise, and I believe that's why he's here. So, yeah, to answer your question again, 3 first rounds, I couldn't say no. I definitely have to weigh my options. But at that point, the options are pretty much weighed. Maxx Crosby's from Detroit. He said the only team he'd play for besides the Raiders is Detroit. And if they called and said, I'll give you 3 first rounds picks, I don't see how the Raiders could turn that down. I just don't see how they could. God demoted you again? Bro, he's going to take your wings. You keep messing around, I'm telling you. He said there's only one. Yes, there is, bro. We need to honestly reset the whole roster. Maxx Crosby is our best player, and he's a B+. Well, see, there you go. You heard it from my guy right there. Maxx needs to go. Why didn't I show that? Tony Angel in the building. That's crazy. Slay Batty, what's good? What's good? Salute. First time seeing you in here. Thanks for pulling up. But if they win out, they are late round picks. If not, like we're getting a top pick out of it. A top 10 pick, my bad. I mean, yeah, we're definitely getting a top 10 pick this year at the rate we're going. And I don't see Aiden O'Connell without Devontae Adams being able to help this team or turn it around with the way our defense is playing. The Raiders defense can't tackle. We can't stop the run. Patrick Graham is, the same coach he was when they brought him in here with Dick Daniels. Teams are out coaching them. Teams are out coaching this defense. They're out coaching our defensive coordinator. They're out coaching our offensive coordinator on defense. That's obvious. And then, we got a mixed match offensive line. That's a revolving door of a different player every single week. So, I mean, yeah, we're definitely probably in the top 10 picks. And if we trade Maxx Crosby for 3 first-round picks, then we can go get whoever we want, right? Because those first rounds are going to be one this year, one next year, and one the year after. And if any franchise, I don't care what anybody says, how much you love Maxx Crosby, how much Mark Davis loves Maxx Crosby. I mean, the Lions picks might not be great. That's one of the things that kind of makes it a little, like I said, I'd want Jamar Gibbs in there, one of those running backs. That would kind of help sway it for me if I was making the trade. But if we give the Lions Maxx Crosby, they're probably going to be in the Super Bowl very, very, very soon. Probably this year and the year after if Goff can stay healthy. So those picks are going to be like bottom tier picks. So you have to think about that also. But again, teams also win the Super Bowl and then don't win shit the rest of the season and fall off very, very bad. So, I mean, there's just so many options to weigh, I don't know what the Lions pick would be this year, but it's probably going to be in the very, very bottom, 25 through 30, which how much is that going to help the Raiders? It's going to give you two first-round picks. Which look what the Houston Texans did with 2 first-round picks. Can you leverage those 2 first-round picks to move up into a top 5? Because that's probably where you're going to have to be. Maybe in the top 10 you can get a decent quarterback, but if you want Shador or Cam Ward or even Ewers at this point, you're probably going to have to be in the top 10 more than likely. I mean, the Lions, I just read that. Keep reading shit over and over again. I knew the hype on the... Oh, wait. Did I miss one? Sorry, I ain't trying to miss nobody's comments. Get to everybody as I can. I knew the hype for last year was temporary. Like what? Like an adrenaline rush because the team... Yeah, was glad to move on. Of course, I mean, any team's going to bump it up and be happy to move on from their coach. They're going to play harder. We talked about that. Salute everybody just popped in. If it's your first time, appreciate y'all pulling up. But, man, we talked about that, last week on the channel. I was like, these guys played harder. They're going to play harder for Antonio Pierce, in his internship because they're trying to prove that it was Josh McDaniels was the problem and that these guys were better than what they were. So, that's definitely a good point. But now the shit gets real because Antonio Pierce has to coach and scheme and do all that head coaching stuff. But see, he's not scheming. He's not even working on personnel. He said it in the press conferences himself. He's relying on these coaches to do everything. I don't know what his job is, but to run the meetings, talk to these guys, motivate them, be their buddy, dab them up on the sideline, smoke cigars, talk that shit, smoke that shit. But other than that, what is he doing? He's not calling offensive plays. He's not calling defensive plays. He's not calling special teams. He's not even saying, I want this guy in the lineup. He's not doing any of that. So until Antonio Pierce steps up more. And I think he has in the press conferences, he's already said, look, this is on me. I need to be more involved. So I don't know how much more involved he's going to get. Maybe he's going to put Luke Getsy in the booth and, you know, hand him that playbook and say, hey, you call plays down to me and I'll choose which 3 I want. Because if I was Antonio Pierce, that's what I would do. I'd say, hey, look, give me 3 plays or give me 2 plays and I'll pick one, eeny, meeny, miny, mo, and run with that. Because Luke Getsy just seems to not be able to call the right plays at the right time. He's not a bad offensive coordinator. There's plays, there's guys open. And like I said, this was supposed to be what's on film, but I'm going to have to do it on a video because I keep getting people reporting me. I'm not getting flagged because if they flagged me, also, obviously, there'd be a flag on my shit and nobody's flagging me. So I'm getting reported. But yeah, smash that like button. Subscribe to the channel if you like what you see, if you like this kind of Raider content. But back to what I was saying, you know, you got to be a head coach. It's your job to get these players in the position and put them in the right positions. And if you don't know the offense or the defense to put these guys in position and you're letting your offensive coordinator call the plays, decide which personnel he wants in, let your defensive coordinator call the plays, decide which personnel he wants in, it doesn't look good for you when we're losing for your future, bro. Your future looks very, very, very dim if you're not stepping up. And I just don't see very many games this year that we can win. Now, this Rams game is one of those games that, look, they are just as bad as us, if not worse. They give up more passing yards, which I didn't think that was possible. They don't give up more rushing yards, but they average a little bit more rushing yards than us. Johnny, what's good? Johnny, be good. Jeffrey Klein, salute. Appreciate you pulling up. I'll get to your chat in a second. So, I mean, yeah, I hear you, bro. I hear you. It's definitely a whole nother ball game. Last year, there was no pressure, right? You took over a shitty team that was 3-5, and all your job was to be a leader of men. Antonio Pierce said it. Those aren't my words. He said, Mark Davis, all he wants me to do is be a leader of men. And that's what he did last year. But now you're not just a leader of men. Now you're a head coach. It was you that said Luke Getsy impressed me last year when the Bears beat the shit out of us, ran the ball all over us. I liked their offense. I liked his aggressiveness. And I like what he did with the quarterback. He brought Luke Getsy in. So if Luke Getsy's not, cutting it, he has to be the one to say, hey, look, bro, this ain't working. And they asked Luke Getsy about going to the booth again today, and he pretty much said, no, I'm not going to the booth. And that just makes me question again who's running the team. Because if Antonio Pierce, the head coach, says, bro, you're going to the booth, and he says, no, I'm not, then shit, kick rocks, bro. Like, fucking beat it. You know what I'm saying? If you ain't doing what I'm telling you, and I'm the boss, you got to go. Like, got to go. More than likely, we package our top 5 or 7 with a third or something to get a top 3 or 4, then trade 25 through 30 pick and a second to go high first again with the defensive end or receiver. Now, see, that's a great concept, and that's what I said last year. I was just starting this channel. I didn't have many followers. Nobody listened to my shit. Nobody watched my videos. But I was screaming in everybody's chats that I was in and my own videos that last year, that's exactly what we needed to do. If Antonio Pierce had any brains last year, this year, they would have did exactly what you said. They would have traded picks. They would have traded players last year. Colton Miller was one of those guys that I said, bro, he's not, he's been looking worse and worse and declining every year. He's only 29, but he has been on a decline with the shoulder injury. His value was way better last year. Devontae Adams was valued. You would have got way more. You probably would have got a second round last year and maybe a second and a fourth, or, a third and a sixth or a third and a fifth, like Cleveland got for, Amari Cooper. Cleveland got more for Amari Cooper than we got for Devontae Adams. Yes, his contract was higher. Yes, they had to, we don't have to pay that contract, which is huge for us. But let me get into these chats real quick. What makes What makes Antonio Pierce a good offensive coordinator, though? Nothing makes him a good offensive coordinator. I'm just saying, if Luke Getsy's in the booth, then he can say, hey, these are, the plays I want. Because I don't think Luke Getsy's system is bad. I just said a minute ago, when we do What's on Film, usually that's what we do on Thursday night on here, but I've been getting flagged. But I don't think it's horrible. Could it be better? Yes. Could our running game be better? Absolutely. But if it's not working, because he gets timid, he'll run, we come out red hot, right? We run, 50% pass, 50% run in, 70 fucking something yards. It's a good drive. We get a touchdown. Then the next drive we come out, have a chance to take the lead, put our foot on their neck, and turn the game around. And we go 3 and out because we run the ball, and then throw a screen pass. So it's the consistency. And if the consistency is not there, then somebody's got to take over play calling. I mean, what do you suggest? Who do you let call plays? Because somebody's got to take over the play calling at some point if it continues to be that bad. And I said it over and over again. It's the run game. The running backs are just they're just nasty work, bro. Nasty work. Yes, you can package 2 first rounds. What would own to move up and get the guys you want? I say the Lions have 3 or 4 year window to win a Super Bowl. Can you imagine Hutchin and Crosby on the same line? It would be absolutely nasty, bro. And I don't think it would be 3 or 4 years. I think that defense with those 2 guys would be like the Raiders defense last year. And everybody underestimates Malcolm Kuntz's value. And I said it. I made videos on it. Go check them out. Watch them over and over again. Help my watch time. Help me get in the algorithm. Somehow I've been shadow banned, and I'm trying to get out of the shadow ban by doing as many lives and as videos as I can, because that's what I was told to do. But I don't know. If it don't work, I'm going to start a new channel because I'm tired of doing this shit. People not watching. But if you go watch the video, it was talking about Malcolm Kuntz and what he brought to the Las Vegas Raiders last year. With those 8 sacks in the time that Antonio Pierce took over, it wasn't all Antonio Pierce. It was the fact that we had a damn good player at defensive end. Malcolm Kuntz, his get off is amazing. His bend is amazing. His hand striking, his technique, his speed, his burst, all of that. His knowledge of the game, his work ethic. Malcolm Kuntz brought a lot to this team that a lot of people underestimated, and him getting hurt really, really hurt this defense. And I think it would be the same over there with the Lions. You'd have Hutchins and Crosby, bro. Hutch and Crosby would be absolutely sick. And I think the Lions would definitely be in the Super Bowl this year if that was the case. If you guys went and got Maxx Crosby, I don't see how you couldn't. You have 2,000-yard running backs. You have St. Brown, which is just a freak of nature when it comes to receivers. That is one of my favorite receivers in the NFL right now. I just love the shit out of that kid's game. So, yeah, come on, bro. It'd be crazy. It'd definitely be crazy. Then why are we paying AP? Bro, you tell me. You tell me, LVR. Like I said, I was totally with bringing Antonio Pierce in because he said it himself. They just wanted him to be a leader of men. So that's what we're paying him. We're paying him $5 million a season or whatever his contract is. That's what I heard. $5 million a year to run meetings, to be a leader of men, and, let the players control the locker room, let the players get on guys when they're not performing, unless you need to call them out in a press conference. Unfazed in the building. What's good? Where you been, my guy? Missed you. Missed you in the chat acting a fool. To me, the whole AP thing was a marketing gimmick to get butts in the seats for Raider fans. Absolutely, it was a marketing thing, but it was also a Maxx Crosby thing. When you have your best player stand up and say, look, I want this guy, I believe in this guy, and I think we can win with this guy. He gives us the best chance to win. you can't as an owner be like, all right, no, just move on. We're gonna rebuild. I'm not going with him because who did they interview? It was, come on. It was it was Antonio Pierce from the get-go. They didn't interview anybody else. The 2 interviews that they did was a guy that hadn't been in NFL for like 20 something years. I don't even know the dude's name. And then they interviewed somebody else that wasn't even, he was probably more qualified than Antonio Pierce, but it wasn't a hype train like Antonio Pierce, right? So that it definitely was a marketing thing. It was to fill the seats, but I don't know why you're trying to fill seats, because we need the seats to be filled with away fans to pay off this damn stadium so we can start blacking out the stadium and people will stop coming here. Because once we get the damn stadium paid off and, Tom Brady starts changing this culture around like Antonio Pierce was supposed to do, which he has changed the culture. We are a more disciplined team. You can't look at last week and say we're not that we are a more disciplined team. But I've talked about it over and over again. Last year we had two games, not one, not two, with absolutely no penalties. It's the first time since 1965 that a team has had no penalties in 2 games in one season. So he is doing something. It is, he is bringing that discipline. He is bringing that violence, physicality, ill intent on the defensive side. It's not, we're not getting it out of our running backs. Obviously, that's what we needed the most. So, I don't know. Is it worth $5 million to be disciplined? I'd say yes. I'd say yes. We lead the league in the NFL. We lead the NFL in penalties and penalty yards and penalty per game and penalty yards and whatever else penalties you can get the entire season, every season, for as long as I can remember. I've been a Raider fan. Dude, my whole entire life. As long as I can remember, we've been the most penalized team in the NFL. So for him to change that around, he's doing something right. But the decision you made on the offense to bring in Getsy isn't working. And I like the fact that in the press conference, he did step up and say, this is on me and I need to take more control, and changes are going to be made. What changes are going to be made? I don't know, because nobody got fired. There hasn't been no decision making besides Devontae. We will have to see, but definitely something has to change with the offense. And I think it starts with these running backs. I am 100% convinced that if we change these running backs and get these dudes out of here, off this team, or, put them on the practice squad and bring up Sincere McCormick, I think this offense will definitely swing it around. These guys are bad, bro. The more film I watch on these running backs, I'm like, dude, I never seen running backs this shitty in my life, really. Like, in high school, you could put a high school kid in here and I guarantee you they could get more yards than these guys. There's lanes, there's holes open. They're just focused on what if they're supposed to run through the A gap, they're running straight to the A gap, whether there's 20 people there, whether there's 2 people there, whether it's open, they don't care. If they're supposed to run to the D gap, nobody goes there. Nobody's ever ran outside of tackles one time, bro. I haven't seen one time. Dylan Labe tried and he fumbled. Other than that, nobody else runs outside the tackles. It's all straight up the field, power running with no power. So, man, yeah, Luke Getsy going to have a hard time turning that around without Devontae Adams. And Antonio Pierce could say we're going to be just fine. We were fine 2 weeks without him, but we got smoked, bro. We got blown out of the water 2 weeks in a row because we didn't have Devontae to bring the double team, for them to run all these crazy packages and schemes and techniques to try to cover him sneakily and not leave him one-on-one because he's going to get beat. Can't even tackle AP's being sucking PP to save his job. He did grab the mic and said, "No, I ain't. Come on, man. Don't be dogging on AP. Don't be dogging on AP. It's gonna work out, bro. It's gonna work out. One of these days, it's gonna work out. If it doesn't work out with Antonio Pierce, it's probably Belichick or Vrabel coming in the door, unless Tom Brady has some sneaky link that we don't know about, guy that he wants to coach. But I'm telling you, the Patriot way is more than likely going to be back. So what's your opinion if we lose to the Lambs? I really don't see us winning this game. I've tried every single week and say, okay, this is the week. And I went some crazy ass number and said, we're going to win by 10 points. We're going to win by 13. And it's not even been close, bro. And I just don't see a pocket quarterback who's going to have time to stand in the pocket because, let's be honest. We're not getting pass rush. If we do, we're running past the quarterback, past the running backs. Matthew Stafford's going to pick this defense apart if he has time to stand back there. At least we don't have to worry about him running at his age, hopefully. But he's probably still going to have more running yards than our running back. But we don't have to contain him. We don't have to cage rush, which is definitely going to help as long as we can get pressure. If we can get that, 2.5, 2.5, 3 second pressure that we were supposed to see all year long, I think we have a chance. But man, nothing goes our way, bro. Like, it's been so bad the last couple of weeks, whether it be tackling, whether it be play calling, whether it be guys giving up, whether it be guys not even near the play, whether it be guys on a running play. Look at the running back and run the fucking other way, dude. 3 times on film watching yesterday. I seen defensive backs snap the ball. He's running take a couple steps like he's going to blitz and then turn his back, dude, his head and everything and start running. And by the time he turned around, I don't know where the hell he was running to. I don't know where he was going. But by the time he turned around, the ball carrier was like right up his ass, 15 yards down the field. So these guys just don't look prepared to me. They don't look prepared, or I don't know if it's preparedness or want to, or if they know, like we know, that it's just it's tank time and the Raiders have, called it quits. I don't know. So if we lose to the Rams, I don't see Getsy getting fired. I don't think they're going to be. It's just going to make us look bad, and I think they're willing to be stubborn enough for their own pride in this organization to bite the bullet and run it the rest of the season with Luke Getsy. Which, again, like I said, it's not all Luke Getsy, bro. We can't stop anybody. We're giving up 120 yards rushing a game. We're giving up 330 yards passing a game. So this can't be all on Luke Getsy. It's got to be on somebody besides Luke Getsy. It's got to be on Patrick Graham. It's got to be on the defense. It's got to be on your leader, Maxx Crosby. He's got to step up and make plays. Yes, he's hurt. How is he hurt enough where he shouldn't be out there? Because we did win a game with him not on the field and without Devontae. So if he's hurt and he can't plant or make the plays that he needs to, if it's holding him back, then man, let him rest. I don't know, but we got to do something. If we lose to the Lambs, it's definitely rebuild time, and I don't know where we go from here. We just turn on the game and watch and pray to God that we don't win too many games to put us out of contention for getting a quarterback. I guess that's my plan. That's my plan. If we lose to the Lambs, it's just roll with the punches, right? Devontae wanted out since the Taco Bell commercial. Our Hollywood gets involved with y'all Raider Nation. Go back to California and get y'all stadium. What? Oakland A's. Jets can't remember the sun. Bro, we're never going back to Oakland. That's never, ever going to happen. That stadium was falling apart. Yes, it was an iconic, great, legendary place. Walking through the tunnel, going to Oakland Stadium, being in a black hole. It's just a feeling that you can't describe and you'll never, ever have again, and nobody will ever feel, obviously, unless you was in the black hole during those times. But, bro, that stadium was washed. Come on, man. The players, went through ridiculous conditions. They played on flipping dirt. Like, dude, come on. These guys, and that's another thing with these guys. Like, we have the best facilities in the NFL. We have the best stadium in the NFL. and we can't win a game, bro. We can't get it together. Like, we have the best trainers. We have all this shit. Agreed, LVR. AP is a dog and pony show. You know, some people say that, and then they come out, you know, you hear that it's AP's job. He's running the show. He's making the choices. But then he comes out and says, when you run on second and third, what the fuck I say? When you run on second and 18 or third and 20, why are you running with Amir Abdullah, and why are you running on these downs, and why is Madison not in the game? And he says, we try to keep our guys healthy and it's personnel, which he don't have anything to do with, because he just said, I don't know, it's personnel. So if you say, I don't know, it's personnel, that means you don't know the personnel that's going in or why this guy's in the game. And for you as a head coach to answer a question, I don't know, about personnel, just looks absolutely horrible, dude. It looks horrible. And again, like I said, I hated calling Cal turd when he said, you know, this organization is like a carnival in a high school parking lot, and all the upper management are a bunch of clowns. And I was like, damn, that's harsh, bro. But now, after watching the product we put on the field week after week after week, and games that we're in at halftime, and then the second half is just a whole nother team that doesn't take shots down the field, that runs the ball on first and second down, and then runs a screenplay on third down, and then punts, is just horrible, bro. Horrible, horrible, horrible. Niners been bad for so long. The Lions are good now. What? Niners haven't been bad. They were in a Super Bowl last year. What do you mean, bro? What do you mean? Shout out Zabai. I have Zabai Z, bro. ZBZ. I don't know. If I pronounce your name wrong, I apologize. I'm not very good at reading names like that. Raiders. Facts. Raiders till I die, no matter what. Even if we have a shitty offense, because guys just can't do their jobs and do their 111. And again, man, last week, you know, even with Aiden O'Connell, there was guys open. And I don't know if these guys are told, because it's happened before. Dick Daniels was the same way last year. He told the guy, you know, they don't have any option to change plays at the line of scrimmage. I don't think very much. Once in a while, I see Aiden O'Connell. I think twice I seen him, you know, pointing something out. But they're not changing the plays. They're not adjusting. And if your quarterback does not have the ability to see a coverage that he doesn't like with the play calling you're calling, and he doesn't have the ability to adapt or change that play call, you're never going to win in the NFL, bro. Because if your quarterback can see, look, this is the bad call, I know what's going to happen, and he has a play that he can change out of, or, you know, it's a run play, and he's like, bro, these guys are, you know, they're going to blitz, they're sending the house, but they're disguising it. You can't change out of that because you don't have a play to switch to, because they're not giving you that faith and have faith in your quarterback. So why are they out there? If you don't have faith in your quarterback to make the plays, which I was saying with Gardner, you know, Gardner made some dumbass throws. There was guys open, but they were handcuffing him. They weren't letting him be Gardner Minshew. They weren't letting him play his game. And until they let Aiden play his game or put Gardner back in there and let them be themselves, which what happened to all this talk about Antonio Pierce saying we let players be ourselves? Tom Telesco too. We let players be ourselves in this organization. We want guys to be themselves. We want guys to be them. Don't change for this organization. Be you. Come in and be you. But then on the football field, you have a guy that's way better scrambling, rolling out of the pocket, throwing the ball, and you want him to stand in the pocket and throw the damn football. Now you got a guy in Aiden O'Connell who's better at standing in the pocket, getting the ball out fast, and you want to run screen plays, no drag routes, no passes downfield. The one pass downfield was, you know, the longest play I think was 16 yards, and it was called back for a holding call. I have no idea why Andre James was on his knees again like he's an OF girl. pulling guys down with them, bro. Like, these dudes are on. Andre James is on his knees and back way more than he should be, way more than any offensive lineman should be. I've never seen an offensive lineman be on the ground so much in my life, dude. Losing versus the Steelers seemed on purpose. Damn. We went straight down the field, Madison rushing, and then they didn't get another carry. He did get other carries. It was just later in the second half. And there was 2 drives where he wasn't out there, which I don't know. Exactly, bro. It looks like he called plays and was like, oh, damn, Aiden O'Connell's a little bit better than I thought. And like I said, if you spread the field, take chances, pass the ball on first down, second down, and run on third, you're going to confuse defenses because they're not used to seeing it. They're used to seeing run on first, run on second, pass on third down, behind the line of scrimmage, or a 5-yard dump play, which I don't know why they run drag routes, but nobody's passing on these drag routes. I see so many guys, these tight ends running drag routes, nobody covering them, nobody within 10 yards, and we need 3 yards for a first down, and the quarterback don't throw the ball to him. So, man, it does look like on purpose, and it looks like it's obviously on purpose, which is the sad thing, right? You can't tell guys, because you have guys like Maxx Crosby and Robert Spillane and Nate Hobbs and, Christian Wilkins and Jacoby Myers and guys that are dogs that want to win. They want to win all the time, and they want to do everything it takes to win. You can't tell these guys we're tanking, bro, to not go out there and play hard and not play to win. That's never going to happen. So what you can do is not prepare them right, put them in horrible situations and make them look bad, which is not what you want to do when guys are on contract year, right? You want to see what these guys have and evaluate them for the next year. So you can't go out there and tank. So we're not tanking. It's just, we're that bad, really. If, like I said, you could adjust plays to make it look like, oh, this guy didn't do his job. This guy didn't do his job. You can't make the quarterback throw the ball as bad as they have on some of these plays. And even Aiden O'Connell, some of the overthrows, I think he just needs to settle down. But yeah, there's ways to tank without tanking, bro. There's ways to say you're tanking without tanking. And one of those ways was trading Devontae Adams. And that's just my opinion. A lot of people won't like it in the nation. They'll be like, oh, that doesn't mean we're tanking. We got rid of yeah, we dumped a salary cap, a huge salary, but we got rid of one of the best receivers all time in the NFL that would help any franchise in any organization. So, yeah, that to me says rebuild 100%. I feel like our team is coming out and scoring in the first and then falling apart afterwards. Just shows how other more experienced coaches know how to adjust, right? Through the game, and Pierce doesn't. We'll see, is it Pierce not making the adjustments? Because, again, I keep going back to the fact that he says he's going to let his coaches coach and his players play. And if you're letting your coaches coach, what are you doing? What is your job on the sideline? You can see clearly, if you watch the game, Antonio Pierce walking up and down the sideline, talking on the mic sometimes, looking up in the sky, looking up at the ground. There's not many times he's talking to people. It's like he's just standing out there. A lot of times, just standing out there watching a football game with the best view on the planet, right? You just get to stand there and watch a football game and write down shit. What is he writing down? He's constantly writing down mistakes. I don't see him writing down when a play goes good. Has anybody, let me know in the comments, has anybody seen Antonio Pierce ever write anything down when it was a big play? Or when we got 6 yards on a run instead of -4? I haven't. I have not one time. And I could be wrong. Facts, Johnny. Yes, those are definitely facts. Shout out. Not adjusting is a new thing for the Raiders, though. It shouldn't be a new thing for anybody, but they are horrible at adjusting. And I think we adjust backwards, right? We go down, we score, we have a lead. Like I said, we have our foot on their throat because they come down, they kick a field goal. We come down, we score. Our defense gets off the field. We have a chance to come down, put our throat on their neck, go up 14-3 with a very, very bad quarterback when it comes to throwing on the other side, and all you have to do is stop him from running. Justin Fields had, 160 yards? He played so shitty in that game that they pulled him after a 32-14 victory. That's how bad the Las Vegas Raiders are. The Las Vegas Raiders are so bad that Justin Fields, after helping his team to victory 32-14, gets benched the next week for a quarterback that hasn't played all year. All year because he's been hurt. That's how bad we are. And we made him look like Tom Brady and Michael Vick at the same time. We made Justin Fields look like Tom Brady and Michael Vick wrapped in one. But it's no big deal that we don't have Devontae. We were good without him the last 2 weeks. It just makes no sense, bro. Makes no sense. Go back to week 1 versus the Chiefs. The Chiefs, what? When we were up 17-0, they adjusted. We didn't. Oh, you mean last year? Yeah, that was definitely one of those games and then we ended up getting beat like 34-17. I don't think we scored again that whole entire game, did we? I think we just got our asses handed to us and dog walk after that. But that's what happens in every single game. We're in the game in the first half. There's not been one game except for the Carolina Panthers game where these teams came out and stomped our ass and just, smacked us in the mouth in the first half of the game. And said it was over. Even the Carolina game at the first half, it wasn't over. It was not even close to over. What's good? Sally Blade. Who else came in here? Propa, John Dizzle, Milk Beezy. What's good? Chris Fuller. I'll get to y'all. Sorry, I don't want to lose my spot. I did. Trying to get everybody's chat, but yeah, I mean, we need to make adjustments, and we don't have the coaches doing that. And again, like I said, we're adjusting down because we went up, we score, and then we come out and run the ball twice, throw to the sidelines, 3 and out with Alex Bachman, DJ Turner, and Harrison Bryant. Why isn't your number 1, which used to be our third receiver, and Trey Tucker even on the field? Why isn't your number 1 player on the whole entire offense, Brock Bowers, not on the field? I don't think he needed a rest because the 2 plays before that were screen plays, so he wasn't running very far, so he didn't need to be out. And I don't know. They got a long-ass rest. It was the first play of the next drive, and he's not even out there. So the personnel calling has to be, even if Antonio Pierce doesn't call plays, he at least has to call personnel. Because I see that's the major problem. Like somebody just commented a minute ago, Madison was doing good, and they took him out, and he wasn't heard of for the rest of the game. But that's not AP making those choices. You heard in his press conference say that's Luke Getsy. So maybe Antonio Pierce needs to say, hey, look, I'll put in the guys that I want in the game, and you just call the plays that make them look good, which I don't know if that might be easier said than done, right? But we'll see. Losing to the Steelers seemed on purpose. I got that one. Not adjusting is new. Gotcha. That's what I just read. All right, sweet. Let me start this. Let's see who's in the chat. Like anybody I missed. Oh, damn, there's all kinds of people in here. Damn. What's good? Blue Buck, salute. Dirk Zink, what's good? Appreciate all y'all. I never seen none of y'all in here before. I appreciate you pulling up. J Dog in the building, 209. Milk Beezy, my guy. I still need to make you a damn mod. John Dizzle, I think you got this. Jesus M. Which one is it? I don't know. Chris Fuller, what's good? Salute, salute. Salute to all you in the building. Appreciate y'all. Let me get back up to the top. Find this damn star so I can get to the chat. All right, so this one says, when we went up on the Jaguars and we're passing all over them in the second half, we're 17-0, and our decisions out of the half was not to pass it anymore. That's your physicality, violence, and ill intent head coach that preaches we're going to be this badass, dominating old school style football team. But when we have our throat on somebody's neck and you can just crush it and pop their insides out there, pop their eyeballs out their head, we decide we're going to, take the easy approach or the less, what am I trying to say? Whatever, the pussy way out. That's what I'm trying to say. And play timid because we have a lead. And yes, that's how we won the Kansas City game. I understand that. You don't want to give the ball back to Patrick Mahomes. But some of these teams that, like the Jacksonville Jaguars that we let come back and beat us, and you can't start running the ball when you're having no problems passing, running, everything's going well in the first half, and you come out and you adjust to a team that's adjusting way better to you, or adjusting better than you are, which has happened every single time. We've been out-coached in every single game in the second half. The first half is close. Everything's going well. Even when we have 2 3-and-outs in the first half, we're still in the game 12-7. And that's a game that you have to win down the stretch if you're a good football team. Just a good football team. But if you're a decent or wanting to be a great football team, or a football team taking that next step, those are games you have to win. You have to win by a lot. You have to make adjustments in the second half and, take the opportunities you have to put points on the board. And we just can't do that. When we have opportunities to put points on the board, we decide to run the ball on first and 30 or 2nd and 20, or just stupid decisions. So I don't know. I just think the scheme is good. I think the 12 personnel, I think the play calling, what's his name? Scott Turner. Scott Turner is, the pass coordinator. I think that's worked well, right? Pass coordinating has worked well. Is it time to hand Scott Turner? North Turner was a great offensive mind. He was a decent, great offensive coordinator, very knowledgeable of football. Scott Turner's his son, right? He's got to know something. If he needs help, he can call his daddy and get help. I'm sure he got daddy on speed dial. But is it time to, if we lose to the Lions, to say, lose to the Lions. I got the Lions on the mind. If we lose to the Rams, is it time to just say, bro, we can't let you do this no more, not fire them, but relinquish play calling ability. They did it with the Jets, right? They fired their head coach. They took their offensive coordinator and said, bro, you are no longer allowed to call plays. We are taking your playbook. You have been stripped of your G card. And I don't know what his job is anymore, but he's not calling plays. And we'll see. We'll see if it works. It didn't look too bad, last week. So we'll see how that goes. But maybe the Raiders have to do that. They need to go out and say, look, bro, your system works, but your play calling ability is trash. And we're going to see if somebody else can call better plays. And I think, oh, damn it, I forgot his name. Just got a brain fart. But the tight end coach, that tight end coach has been an offensive assistant. He's been an O-line assistant. He knows tight ends. He knows O-lines. He's worked with receivers. I think this man has done wonders with Brock Bowers. Maybe hand him the reins. It didn't go very bad with Bo Hardegree last year. Aiden O'Connell did very well with a young, up-and-coming, innovative coordinator that nobody knew. See, that was the thing. Why we were good last year on offense with Aiden O'Connell is because nobody knew what was coming. We had Josh McDaniels, Dick Daniels playbook that was this big that they took to 7 pages, and then kind of ran from that and, threw in little passing plays for Jacoby Myers. Jacoby Myers had 2 touchdowns last year. Where's that? Where's that this year? We need some trick plays like that. Definitely. And Luke Getsy is just not, he's too timid, too conservative. What food are you putting on here, bro? Jesus Christ. Okay. But yeah, he's just too conservative and too timid, I think, to sustain drives. Once we get a lead, he goes soft, and nobody likes anybody that goes soft in the middle of anything. So Devontae had the nerve to say it's a win-win. New York media said TF is a team better off without a number one offensive option. I mean, look, Devontae said it was a win-win, and I had some videos I was going to put up with Devontae, but I'm just going to turn it into a video for those of you coming out. Know what's on film today because somebody keeps reporting my channel, so I'm been shadow banned and I'm trying to get out of that. But obviously with the people in here, there's more people than I had in a while, so hopefully it's coming around. But a lot of teams have won Super Bowls not having a number one receiver, right? There's been a lot of teams that have won Super Bowls that didn't have that number one diva guy that wanted the ball constantly. And teams that had number one receivers made it to the Super Bowls and have lost because they take away that number one option. And what do you have when they're, that's your scheme and your game plan. So, but it was a win-win for both teams. Look, we got rid of a huge salary. We can bring in anybody we want to in free agency next year. $108 million projected in the salary cap next year. Sets this team on a very high pedestal. And then you have a guy like Tom Brady who can evaluate guys in 1 or 2 seconds and break down their strengths and weaknesses and all that shit. I think we're in a good place right now. I think this year is a wash, and we're just going to have to realize that there's no winning this year. We are in our full rebuild mode. Crosby might be on the way out. There's a lot of shit. So 17 was like, let me make some dumb shit up real quick. Blah, 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 blah. No, 17. Look, I'm phased. Look, this is it. Davante Adams did what Davante Adams needed to do for Davante Adams. And you as a man, would you not do what you needed to do for your family? If you was in a fucked up spot and you could be in a better spot, would you not try to put yourself in that better spot for you and your family? Because look, when your quarterback or your daddy's not happy and he's coming home pissed off every day, throwing helmets on the sideline, bro, that deals with family. That has to do with your children. And the man put himself in a better spot. The Raiders did him dirty. We can't say we didn't. They brought him in, said Carr was going to be your guy. They got rid of Carr. They did him dirty, just like they did Carr dirty, just like we did Jacobs dirty, just like we do everybody. Like I said it again, Charles Woodson, Marcus Allen, bro. The list goes on and on of players that the Las Vegas Raiders have done dirty no matter who's in the front office. So we came out great. We have money for the salary cap. Devontae's out of the way. We thought the drama and trade rumors would be gone, but now Maxx Crosby's in the trade rumors and talk. So was it a win for the Jets? Yes. They get a receiver that could, easily put up still 1,500 yards because he did the first year he was here with with Derek Carr. They have to pay a whole bunch of money for. And, if it helps this team, then it's a win-win for the Jets. But I think we came out better, if you ask me personally, because the Jets need an offensive line. They're having problems running the ball. Their defense ain't the top 10 defense that everybody thought it was, just like our defense. We all thought it was going to be this top 10 defense, but it's not. So, yes, it's a win-win for everybody. It's definitely a win-win. And Devontae, he lied, but he also did what he should, what he had to do for this organization. And I respect that. by not just coming out and saying I want to be traded, because it would have made the Raiders look bad, way worse than we already look by how we did him. And like we said, now the talks are Maxx Crosby. Is Maxx Crosby happy? And if Maxx Crosby as a player, you got to be like, bro, they just did Devontae like that. They did Derek Carr like that, who was here for 10 years. I've only been here 6. What are they going to do for me? So it just doesn't look good. Doesn't look good. But yes, it was a win-win. And Devontae even said it was a win-win. And I'll break it down in my video about why Devontae said it was a win-win and what he said to the organization. You have to check out this video because, you know, what he said to Tom Telesco and Antonio Pierce, I thought was absolutely hilarious. The man had to change what he was going to say like 3 times. Say, let me rephrase my words. So yeah, the man wasn't happy and they weren't getting him the ball. And he said in his press conference why he wasn't happy in Vegas. He felt like too many things had to go right for him to succeed, or for us to succeed with him succeeding. And you can't blame a guy for that, bro. The Niners would get way more out of Crosby still in the window. Yeah, but Maxx said the only team he would ever play for, which, I mean, like I said, you're a player, you don't have a choice. But the only player, you know, the only team he would ever play for other than the Raiders is the Lions, bro. That's where he's from. He's got family there. He's got friends there. He went to college there. The Lions is the only place. The Lions is the only place Maxx Crosby is going to end up if anything crazy happens. But like I said, it would definitely probably not be, I don't know. It's got to be this year because the Lions need him this year. They don't need him next year. So you can't wait till the end of the season and be like, okay, we're going to trade him and get draft picks. It would have to be really, really soon, within the next like week or two, because the Lions are in a spot where they need Maxx Crosby, and they're in a spot where it's win now for them. They have like a 2, probably maybe a 3-year window with all the players they have to win and win now. So, man, if they can afford it, I think it could happen. Rodgers in 17 can get their story straight. One says they never. Oh, bro, come on, Unfazed. They lied to us. They lied to us. This was going down, and I tried to tell you, my guy. I tried to tell you it wasn't if, it was when Devontae was going to be traded. Devontae lied and said he wanted to be here. Yes, he fooled everybody. He tried to even say, look, my kids were drawing on the window. It was freezing outside. I never want to see my kids stuck inside again. But you go to the Jets. You go to New York where there's snow on the ground constantly. So, yeah, he's an NFL player. It's like politicians. They have to lie, bro. They can't just come out and make the organization look bad and say, this team is fucking trash and I want off this team now. Because that's pretty much what he said in Netflix. But you couldn't come out and say that. And you couldn't trade him after 1 year when you just paid 2 first rounds and whatever else they paid to get Devontae. This organization would look way more stupid than they do now, which that's hard to do sometimes. Definitely hard to do. You heard 2? Heard 2 what? First rounds? I wouldn't trade Maxx for 2 first rounds. I wouldn't do it, bro. I'd be like, nope, you're going to have to give me something more than that. Because Maxx Crosby's got, 4 maybe or more years left. And somebody that can come on your team and play 100% of the snaps is going to keep the rest of your team healthy. It's going to keep the rest of your team fresh. And, that presence in the building is going to make everybody around him that much better. Shout out to Oaktown in the building. First round picks for Crosby. 2 first rounds. Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, the Lions are coming for that chip, bro. 100%. 100%. They have, like I said, 2,000 yard running backs. They have a solid offensive line. You had Goff, who's on a mission over there. They got my boy Amik Robinson. How's he doing over there? Is he helping y'all out? I ain't watched no Lions games. But we sure miss him over here on this defense. A first and Ayuk for Crosby, deal done. And the Niners. Do the Niners a solid? Oh. Yeah, obviously, you're a Niners fan. I don't think they're going to do the Niners any favors, right? I mean, if they wanted to, that would be a good team to help stop Kansas City from three-peating. But I don't think they're trading Crosby to the Niners. I don't see him accepting that. And again, players have to go, have to accept where they want to go. LVR, it's deeper than the dog and pony show. Stuff, if you ask me, I will update y'all when I have more evidence. Break it down, Unfazed. Break it down. You gonna come on the show? When you gonna come on, man? You come on live, bro. Break it down. Throw all your evidence on. I would love to see it. But look, there's all kinds of evidence. Like I told you, the day Antonio Pierce was asked, is everybody playing in the preseason? And he said, yep, if you're healthy, you will play. And then they asked Devontae Adams, are you playing in the preseason? And he said, I haven't played in the preseason in 6 years, and I don't see the benefit in it. And if I have a choice, no. But it hasn't been talked about. The next day, he has a hamstring injury, doesn't play in the preseason, but the next week, he's completely ready for the season. Comes out, does pretty decent, and then realizes this quarterback is absolute trash, like everybody figured. The smart people anyways in the NFL knew Garner wasn't ever going to do shit. It was all hoopla. He was only started because of the money. And the dude wanted out, bro. He wanted out. He wanted to go. And I said then, it's not if, it's when Devontae is traded. They weren't going to pay him that salary next year, especially with no quarterback. And he wasn't going to be here with no quarterback. And they chose to go with Aiden O'Connell too late, in my opinion. If they would have stuck with Aiden in the beginning of the season, he's talked about the chemistry they were building, the bond they were building. And I think that was the straw that broke the camel's back, if you ask me. I mean, I could be lying. I need 3 firsts for Crosby all day, McBeasy, 100%. 100%. If you give up Ayuk, your offense will suck. What? Yeah. Oh, yeah. If the 49ers give up Ayuk, bro, Chris Fuller was good. Yeah, they especially right now. I mean, no McCaffrey. Bro, that's rough over there. I don't think y'all can afford to give him up at this point. Ayuk barely used. I don't know what they paid him. He doesn't get enough targets to justify that money. Yeah, I don't know why he's not getting targets, especially with the problems they have. I mean, Kittle's has been hurt off and on. Look, you got no McCaffrey, Debo. I don't know what's going on with him, but damn, you would think a player like Brandon Ayuk would get the ball more, especially after you bring him back and re-sign him. Like, why re-sign him to not even use the man? He's not happy. He's pulling some diva shit over there too. It's just like all receivers, bro. They're all divas. If Crosby leaves, I'm done with the nation. Oh, Blue Buck, Money Dan. So you one of them kind of fans, right? You one of them player fans. You only here for the players. You're not here for the organization or the Raiders. See, I've never been I mean, I love every player that plays for the Raiders. Don't get me wrong, but I just don't get caught up in my feelings. I know it's a business, and I've seen, once they got rid of players like Marcus Allen when I was a kid, I was like, bro, what the hell? And I was too young to understand what was going on. But then it happened later down the road when I was a little bit older with Charles Woodson, and I was like, oh, I get it. I love this organization for the wrong reasons. They are trash when it comes to, doing players right. But after you retire, they do you pretty good. So I can't say that all the way because they do take care of their own afterwards. But bro, if you ain't, it's what have you done for me lately in this league, and especially for this franchise. Maxx Crosby for 4 first rounds picks. Let's go. Don Dizzle. I don't think anybody's giving up 4 for Maxx. I mean, he's probably 3rd, maybe 4th best in the league. And yeah, you can look at the numbers, and yeah, you can say he should be Defensive Player of the Year. And yes, he probably should have a couple years. But the fact that he's on a losing organization that is bottom feeders every year is just hurting It's hurting his legacy. It's hurting him. I believe he could be so much better on a defense that could tackle, like with players that were willing to tackle. And as a fan of Maxx Crosby, I think it's better. I mean, it's better for him and his career if he ever wants to have a chance at winning that chip or being Defensive Player of the Year or being a Hall of Famer or being great or being any of that. I mean, he's going to be in the Hall of Fame regardless. But those other things, you're probably not going to do it on this franchise. I just don't see that happening. And I'll be surprised if this team even makes the playoffs probably before I die, the way they're going right now. I mean, all my optimism has been gone, thrown the fuck out the window and ran over by the car on the back tire. Crosby ain't leaving Point Bank, period. Bro, look, I don't know. That's what you say, but let's listen to this. This says different. You tell me what you get from this.
The team is closer to building towards a win now mode or closer to a rebuild mode?
I don't believe in, I'm not here to rebuild, I'm here to win. So, I don't know whatever that means, but yeah, I'm here to win now, and wherever I'm gonna be, I'm gonna be here to win. So that's all.
So don't take my word for it. Maxx Crosby said, "I'm here to win and win now. Whether it's here or wherever I am going to be." Now, come on. What is the reason for saying that? What is your reasoning? He has no reason to put that out there in the fucking universe. Maxx Crosby has no reason to say wherever I'm going to be. None at all. But he also, like I said before, has talked about it on the rush. The only team he would want to play for if it wasn't the Raiders was the Detroit Lions. That's where he's from. It's not a coincidence that their best pass rusher is out for the season. And if they have any chance of making the playoffs and the Super Bowl, that they need a defensive end. Their coach even was asked, are they going to go get a replacement for Hutch? And he said, well, if you can get a guy 6'3", 255 pounds that runs a 4.4 40 with a 69-inch wingspan, basically describing Maxx Crosby, he said, if you could somehow work that would be great. Come on. Like, it's just, there's a lot of things that you just have to look in between the lines. We are in a rebuild. It's obvious when we got rid of Devontae Adams. Now you have the man coming in and Tom Brady, and Tom Brady's not going to put up with losing. He's not going to put up with losers. He's definitely not going to put up with a team that can't score when he's a quarterback that scored 35 points a game average in his career, pretty much. Not that much, but seemed like that. Crosby in red and gold just feels right. No, it doesn't, bro. It feels horrible and it looks horrible. Who the hell wants to wear red and gold? That's just nasty colors, dude. I ain't trying to dog on your team, but them colors, bro. Red and gold? Nah, that ain't for me, bro. I bleed silver and black. Proper hop off peanuts. No Crosby, no 49ers, bro. Y'all couldn't even afford Maxx Crosby anyways. Y'all just paid Brandon Ayuk so much money to stand on the sidelines and not get the ball. That's also the problem with Pierce. He doesn't know how to make adjustments to take over play calling, either side of the ball. Whereas for Gruden, Belichick can do. Exactly. And Belichick, I mean, I know guys don't want to play for him. And there's going to be a lot of unhappy players, but look how many championships they won. But a lot of that had to do with Tom Brady. We all know that. Belichick's a great coach, but look at his record before Tom Brady. Look at his record after Tom Brady. Is he really that great of a coach? And he's old as hell, bro. And I keep saying the problem that we have right now is some of these guys like Phil Bond that we have in the building. Some of these guys, our receivers coach. These guys have been in the NFL and been around forever. And they're like 70, 80 years old. And they probably shouldn't even be traveling on airplanes. Ooh, my bad, heartburn. Marvin Lewis, Tom Coughlin, these guys, I think the game has passed these guys by. The game changes so much every year. These guys have never seen quarterbacks like we have right now in the NFL that can run, that are accurate, that can throw the ball, 80 yards down the field. None of these coaches have been around players that can do this shit. This is new to them. So it's hard for them to adjust, and it's hard for you to tell Antonio Pierce how to adjust when you don't know how to adjust to the shit because you haven't seen none of these offenses that they run. You haven't seen none of these, cover 2 defenses with 2 high safeties that everybody's going to. You didn't get looks like that back in the day. I've been hearing Raiders trying to get Justin Fields. What are you going to save the season by getting Justin Fields? If you go get Justin Fields, then is that our quarterback of the future? And we're going to have Tom Brady groom him and we're not going and drafting a quarterback? Because to me, that's a stupid-ass move. And that just sets this franchise back even farther because you could have went and got Justin Fields for a fucking 6th-round pick last year. And I said, go watch my videos again. Man, I got a lot of videos. If you're new to the channel, go check them out. Go watch my videos. A lot of people miss out and don't watch all the way through. But there is all kinds of shit in there that I know what I'm talking about. When I speak on things, if I don't, I try not to speak on it if I don't know what I'm saying. But, bro, Justin Fields would have been great for this team if we didn't bring in Getsy. Getsy cannot call plays for a mobile quarterback that doesn't have a very accurate arm and can't throw the ball down the field. We've seen he tried it with Justin Fields. We've seen he tried it with Gardner Minshew. And now he's stuck with the pocket passer, and he did very well with Aaron Rodgers and Devontae Adams, but our pocket passer has no receivers except Jacoby Myers and a tight end that they don't let go more than 5 or 10 yards every other play. So, that's going to be hard to do. LVR, I don't see why Pierce needs to call plays on offense when he's a defensive-minded guy. Well, Milk Beezy, we were talking about this, and Pierce don't need to call plays on offense. We're not saying he needs to call plays. We're saying he doesn't do anything. His job is as an offensive or as a head coach, you're not calling the personnel. You're not calling the guys that come in and out of the game. You have nothing to do with personnel. You have nothing to do with play calling on the offense. None of the offensive plays. You have nothing to do with play calling on defense or special teams. What are you paid $5 million a year for? To be a rah-rah guy? To be a leader of men? Because these guys aren't following you right now. And if they are, they're not showing it. So we're just saying not take over play calling skills, but put Luke Getsy in the booth. Have him give AP 2 or 3 plays, hey, look, try these 3 plays, or here's 2 plays, pick one, or here's 3 plays, pick one. See if that works, or hand over play calling ability to somebody that's not timid and that can, it's not the plays, but it's not the plays. There's guys open. There's holes in the run game. The running backs are just trash. I'm pretty sure Mike Tomlin doesn't call his own plays on offense. No, Mike Tomlin doesn't, but he has a damn good offensive coordinator that he just brought in. And they're winning games with a quarterback like Justin Fields, who doesn't have an accurate arm, who's not great at throwing on the run, and he's a mobile quarterback. And they're winning. They're winning games still. They have a run game. We have none of that. They don't have a tight end like we have. We have a better tight end. We had Devontae Adams. We had way better receiving core. And we're getting way worse results. Way worse results. Gardner Minshew is supposed to be better than Justin Fields. I mean, come on. They let Justin Fields go for a 6th-round pick next year. They didn't even pay for him this year. That's why I said we should have brought in Justin Fields with Devontae Adams to help him along, to give him those little tidbits, like he was doing Aiden O'Connell, like he tried to do Gardner Minshew. Might help this kid out, having a quarterback coach. He's not the greatest, but Rick Scangarello is not a bad quarterback coach. I like what he's done so far with Aiden, and Gardner Minshew. The passing game, like I said, the passing game has looked decent. There's been guys open. We just don't have quarterbacks that are throwing it to the guys, and when we do, they're dropping passes. So, I'm just saying, if we lose to the Rams, that somebody needs to think about saying, bro, you're done calling plays. You're done calling plays. Let's give it to Luke Steckel, the tight end coach, or one of these older guys, and see what they can do. But until we get 2 new running backs, it doesn't really matter, bro. Until we get 2 running backs, it doesn't matter who's calling plays, who's the quarterback, who's the offensive line. Even though we have an offensive line that's a revolving door because nobody can stay healthy. We don't want to be a punk ass Niner. And nobody wants to be Niners, bro. At BZ, you don't need what? Oh, you didn't read all of what I wrote. I said we can't play call on either side of the ball like Gruden or Belichick. Gruden offensively minded and Belichick defensively minded, which is a fact. Like he's just speaking the truth. We need a coach that can do one or the other, is what he's saying. Like if you can't call offensive plays and you can't call defensive plays and either one, it's probably time to go back to a linebacker coach. You could still be a rah-rah guy and have guys follow you and be a leader of men from the linebacker coach. At least our linebackers were a little bit decent last year. Crosby said no other team he would play for besides the Raiders is the Lions. I mean, only one other team. Exactly. The only team it's kind of coincidence that the only team he would want to play for is the Lions. Detroit, where he went to school, Detroit, where he grew up, all his family and friends are there, and they just happen to need a defensive end. So, yeah, you could say it's all, whatever, clickbait, but I'm just throwing facts. Nothing I said was clickbait. It's all facts. It's all shit that he said, that he has said, that the organization has said, that Mark Davis said. Mark Davis, man crush Maxx Crosby, just trade him before too much wear and tear. I mean, yeah, exactly. He's constantly hurt. He's playing, 97%, 98%, 99% of the snaps because he has to, right? He's not playing 99% of the snaps because he wants to, because he don't want to take a breath, bro. He's playing because he has to, because he feels like if he comes off the field, the letdown is so much with him not out there. But that wasn't the case. When he wasn't out there, we won. We won that game without them, bro. We played a solid-ass game on defense. We were better on the run. We were better at pretty much everywhere. And I thought, the containment, having those guys out there, bro, I don't know. I'm not saying we're better with Maxx Crosby, but I'm saying we're better if Maxx Crosby gets rest and he's not playing 99% of the snaps a game. And we don't have the team that can do that. The Lions do. They have guys they can bring in to fill that void for a little bit. Trade Crosby to the Lions, get back draft kicks. But to reload younger talent, Crosby only has a couple good years left. Don't be stupid, Raiders, right? I mean, exactly, bro. But that's if the Lions want to trade. I'm not even saying, I don't know if the Lions want to trade. They might not have the capital. They might not want to, give away their future like that. 3 first rounds or even 2 is a big setback for a franchise. And I talked about that last year when everybody was saying go up and get Jaden Daniels. They were like, give him 3, 4. Bro, 4? Even if you get a franchise quarterback and you give up 4 first-round picks, you set your franchise back so far. Because the following year you get no first round, the following year, so you're not getting talent to build around this quarterback. So giving up that many picks is just absolutely ridiculous. At LVR, that brings up the question, what does AP really do? That's what we talked about. He doesn't do anything. He doesn't do anything. We're all still trying to figure this out. And maybe as a group, if we sit here and keep talking about it, somebody will figure it out. But right now, I don't have the question. I don't know what AP does. AP does, listen, AP does, this is what AP does. AP does exactly what Aiden O'Connell did last year, what he's told to do, right? That's what AP does, what he's told to do. He was told by Mark Davis, I don't need you to be an X's and O's guys. I need you to be a leader of men. And that's what he's doing, or has done up until this point. But when you keep losing games, you can't say you're a leader of men when you're leading guys into battle that aren't performing, that are making business decisions and giving up on you, that are trying not to get hurt because they have contract years coming up, and you have guys like Devontae Adams who just got let go for a 3rd-round pick. So if you're a Raiders player, you see what's going on in the organization. You got to see what's going on in the media. You got to see what's going on in the locker room. And you got to ask yourself, is it worth giving 110% for a team that's trying to tank already, or not trying to tank, but is not good enough to win and is going to get a quarterback next year? Is it really worth it for me to give 110% and risk injuring, myself, being out for the season or out for 2 seasons, or even ending your career by giving it 100%? And I know it's your job because you get paid, but come on, man. No matter how much you get paid, when guys can see that, look, this team is not trying to win and we're doing things to beat ourselves, it's going to irritate people. It's going to rub people the wrong way. You want us to tank? That's crazy. I want to see us win. I don't want to see us win enough games where we don't get a 1st-round pick. But I think right now that if we make some of these trades, I don't want to see Nate Hobbs go anywhere either, but he's on his contract year, and he's a pretty solid player that would be damn good if he had some guys around him where he didn't have to worry about their job and could do his job consistently. I think Nate Hobbs would be a lot better. And there's a lot of teams that might be calling for Nate Hobbs. I'm sure there's some teams that would, be calling for Moreg if you were, going all in and being sellers. Are we sellers at this point? Just because we got rid of Devontae's contract doesn't make us sellers and tankers. But a lot of people want us to tank. Let me know. There's 23 people in here. 1 in the comment. Type 1 if you want us to tank. 2 if you don't. Simple. 23 people. Come on, help me out. 1, yes, tank. 2, no tank. Fight. Fight, fight, fight. No quit. I hate to say it, but we should go out and get Belichick. No, man, I don't think that's the best move. I know, we see what Harbaugh's doing over there with the Chargers, and that's great. He turned that franchise around like that. I personally didn't believe he was. I argued with Dustin on DSR, over and over again. I said there's no way Jim Harbaugh comes in and turns the Chargers organization around like he did. They were giving up leads in the 4th quarter, kind of like the Raiders were. Their defense, they got all these stars, but they just can't seem to shut teams down or stop teams. Then your offense, you have one of the best quarterbacks in the league. And I thought there was a lot of holes that they had to fill. They made the right choice. They went and got Joe Alt. It made that offensive line 100% stronger. And that team turned around pretty damn quick. I mean, they're not looking great, but they look way better than we do. And Antonio Pierce was here last year. He knows all these players. 97% of the players were on this roster last year. So he knows these guys. Jim Harbaugh didn't. So do you go get a guy like Belichick that knows football, that's been around, but, is up there in age? Because Harbaugh's not as old as that dude, right? Belichick's come on. He's up there. He's up there. And like I said, once Tom Brady left, Belichick that team wasn't that guy, They had him running pretty much GM and head coach. And after Dick Daniels left, his offense was garbage, bro. So his defense wasn't even great, and he was the defensive guy. That's why they fired him and went with the defensive coordinator. So I think he's still a great coach. He brings a lot of knowledge, but do I want him as the Raiders head coach, to sign him to a 5-year, 6-year contract? No, but we need a guy that we can sign to a long-term deal that we can have time to develop his organization. Like Antonio Pierce, he doesn't have, I don't think, 2 years is not enough time to turn an organization around, but you were handed a pretty damn good team that you're letting fall apart. So I don't know. It's both ways. I'm in the middle. I'm torn. Yes, we need a coach, but I don't think Belichick is that dude. And Vrabel, I don't know. He could be that guy, depending on who you put in that coordinator. But it all comes down to really offensive coordinator and scoring points and stopping the run. And so, I would go get Robert Salah or whatever, however you say his name, from the New York Jets and make him defensive coordinator. His defense is solid as hell. In my opinion, his track record is better than Patrick Graham's and speaks for itself. So a lot of people are saying Patrick Graham couldn't, be a head coach next year. I don't see that happening. Not the way this defense is performing. Will he be back next year? I mean, there's a lot of questions, bro. A lot of questions. At BZ, that's my point exactly. He doesn't call plays. He can't clock manage well. Denver, 1:30 on the clock before halftime. Tries to kneel out and gives back the ball to Peyton, who scores in 20 seconds. Exactly, bro. But that comes down to the guys that he put around him. He handpicked these guys. It was him and Tom Telesco, but mainly him that said, I want Marvin Lewis. It was him that said, what the hell's Rob Ryan, that I want Rob Ryan to stay. He picked these guys, and I gave this coaching staff horrible shit last year and said it was the worst coaching staff in the NFL. McDaniels just put together garbage guys. But did he really? Because Antonio Pierce took over with his coaching staff and seemed to fare very well. And I know we talked about, yes, guys are trying, playing their hardest, all that shit, but you can't, the clock management, the timeouts. Even last week, you call a timeout with 12 seconds left on the flipping clock, when all you had to do, we were up to the line, all they had to do was spike the ball. That would have gave us 12 seconds to run it out, 7-10 yards. I think we only needed 7 yards to kick a field goal. We could have picked up 7 yards, then called the timeout, had time to kick a damn field goal. But instead, he gives the ball back to the Broncos and they score. So, gives the ball back. They didn't score, but still, we could have scored at the half, made it 12-10, totally changed the game around, and just it's stupid calls. Keep it 3, not reviewing a play that looked like a touchdown, and then you turn around and you go no huddle when you're on the 1 yard line. When Aiden O'Connell was 76%, I do believe, last year with the tush push, second in the NFL. We were second in the NFL on 4th and 1 because of the tush push. Aiden O'Connell a couple times picked up 2 or 3 yards. When it was 4th and 2 or 3, we went for it with the tush push and got it. So Antonio Pierce knows this. Why is he saying, okay, let's take Madison out of the ball, who just scored the touchdown on the opening drive from this same fucking position? Let's see if the other guy can do it now and put in Amir Abdullah, who's going to fumble on the 1 yard line. So, yeah, the coaching is bad, bro. Antonio Pierce was not cut out for this. Yes, he's a gangster. Yes, he drives an Impala. Yes, he rocks the double earrings. He got the cool shoes. He got the fly car. He's down with NWA and OPP and me and all that shit. But it was too early. It was way too early. If anybody should have been an interim head coach, it was Rick Bisaccia. They flopped on that. The fans talked Mark Davis into going with Antonio Pierce, and he was like, bro, we're going with Antonio Pierce. But I still say, since nobody knows this contract, that there's somewhere in this contract where the Raiders can get out of it very, very easily. And I don't think he'll be back next year. I don't think with Tom Brady taking over that he's going to evaluate, if he can evaluate players like Gronkowski said, then I'm sure he can evaluate coaches. And I'm sure he knows a lot about Antonio Pierce. The guy beat him in a Super Bowl. And like I said before, there's got to be some animosity there. And they even asked Antonio Pierce, have you showed Tom Brady the ring or rubbed it in his face yet? And he said no comment. So, they could be guys just joking around, but Tom Brady just strikes me as that type of dude that would hold a grudge because, he wants all the rings he could get. And he could have had 8. And it was pretty much the coach we have, Antonio Pierce, who came up with who saw the characters of their offense and what Tom Brady was doing, that went and told his coach, hey, this guy's doing this. Let's run this defense. And it cost him a Super Bowl. So, bro, yeah, this whole thing is just a fucking as the shield spins drama saga. That's never going to end. Welcome to the nation. And now it's in Vegas. It's even more crazier. Week 1 last year, Josh McDaniels. Not AP. Oh. What? I missed it. I don't know. AP Solo doesn't know when to challenge calls like the Amir Abdullah touchdown. Also can't make adjustments in the game. Yeah. I mean, the challenge, what do you have to lose at that point, right? At that point in the game, you have 3 challenges. If you win the challenge, you get 1 back. If you lose the challenge, you just lose the challenge. At this point in the game, what is it really, really do to not challenge it, right? Like, it was so close, but he said he asked his guys upstairs, and they, the guys upstairs said it wasn't worth challenging. And even one of the announcers came on and said, look, I looked it over. I don't think if he challenged it that they would have won. But at least if they would have challenged it, it would have let the offense have a chance to regroup. It would have let them talk it over on the sideline. It would have let them maybe decide that probably the personnel they had out there was not the personnel to have in that position. Yes, Amir Abdullah got him there, but he got him there from 12 yards out or 10 yards out, not from the 1. That is not his spot. You should never, ever, ever have Amir Abdullah or Dylan Labe when you have a guy as big as Madison or a quarterback that's 6'3", that can pick up 2-3 yards behind Andre James anytime they want to. And they proved it last year. So coaching is wild, bro. And it hurts. I would take 4 first-round picks and Gibbs. Take it or leave it. Like, bro, I'm gonna have to leave that if I'm the Lions. Like, that's not a trade that I'm making. But if I'm the Raiders, I'm taking that shit all day. Like, all day. 4 first rounds, come on, that's crazy. No franchise is gonna set their team back like that. But yeah, that's just something you cannot say no to. And like I said, if they offered me Gibbs and 2 first rounds, or even Gibbs a first round and a second and a third, or some crazy shit, I might even consider that at this point. Like you said, Maxx Crosby, 26, constantly dealing with injuries that he doesn't let heal because he feels he has to be on this team. And I don't know. It's not, like I said, it has to be worthwhile, bro. It has to be some crazy, elaborate, psycho plan to get to get Maxx Crosby out of here, dude. And I think I'd be pissed off. LVR, shit, we had Bisaccia. Yeah, we had Bisaccia. And I think this team was a playoff team. We made it to the playoffs with Gruden's team. I think Bisaccia would have been a damn good, would have been damn good at drafting. I don't know that for a fact, but I'm just, the guy's character, his knowledge of the game, his knowledge of personnel, of character personnel. I think with him and Mike Mayock at the time, right? Was it Mike Mayock? If they would have kept Mike Mayock around, this team probably would have won some playoff games, and we wouldn't be in this position right now. And Maxx Crosby would be happy, Devontae would be happy, and we'd still have 2 of the biggest stars in the NFL. And, probably be a 10, 11, 12 win team if we would have just kept Basasia, kept Derek Carr. I mean, come on, Derek Carr and DA had 1,500 yards. You can't you can't deny the fact that if we had the defense that we had last year, the last 8 games of the season, with Derek Carr and Devontae Adams and Josh Jacobs, that this team would not be in the playoffs, bro. You can't say that. So that's my thing. It's AP thought he was going to come run it back with Aiden O'Connell, Josh Jacobs. Everything was going to go good, and Tom Telesco didn't even call Josh Jacobs. Didn't even have the balls as a man to call him and say, bro, what do I got to do to get you to stay here? And that's just wild to me. At Dirk, as much as Maxx is my favorite player, even Mac only got 3 first, and arguably, yeah. At the time was better than Maxx is now. Yeah, I talked about that. Did I go backwards in this fuck chat? What the hell happened? You're subbing now. Appreciate it, my guy. Appreciate you. Should never got rid of Carr. Yeah, like, subscribe, follow for all y'all in here. I'd appreciate it. We trying to get to 1,000. Trying to get out of this damn shadow ban. Have some people report my channel. But you know what they say. If they talking shit behind your back, it's because you in front of them, right? So. At this point, is there anyone that can save this team? Yeah, bro, there is. Like, we are not that many pieces away. And I said it last year. We needed a quarterback. We needed to get the offensive line figured out. And we needed an offensive coordinator, like Cliff Kingsbury, that's innovative, that's not stuck in, run the ball first and second down and hope for the best with your quarterback because he's got to pick up 13 yards to get a first down because your first 2 plays were minus negative yards. It's not going to work in the NFL, bro. It's not going to work in high school. It's not going to work in college. It's not going to work anywhere. But there's free agents right now. You know what I would like to see? You know what I really love to see right now? Latavius Murray, bro. People are going to think I'm crazy. Go get Latavius Murray. He's a free agent. The man still has a little bit left in the tank, and I guarantee you he has more in the tank than both of these running backs combined right now. He can catch. He can run. He's hard to tackle. He might fumble the ball here and there, but at least he's going to run the ball and make plays, dude. Like, come on. These guys are trash. Milk Beezy says Ben Johnson. For head coach, I don't think we're going to get Ben Johnson from the Lions. I think he's happy over there. I think we'd have to offer him some crazy, insane amount. Money's everything. If they win a Super Bowl, that's definitely a possibility. But if they don't win a Super Bowl, I think the man's character, he might, stick it out because he knows the opportunities there and the window there to win and the team they got around him. But like I said, bro, if you offer him enough money, the man's gone. At Blue Duck Dan, Gruden and Belichick, especially Gruden. What? Especially Gruden. He has rebuilt the Raiders twice. Oh, I know. Yeah. From 98 to 01. From 18 to 2021. It took a while, right? He did. But our defense was never solid. He's an offensive guy. He never picked the right defensive coordinator. Yeah, with Gus Bradley, we started to get a little bit momentum. Gus Bradley started to get hot, started to cook a little bit. He started to get the players he needed. And you've seen that when when Bisaccia took over, when they got rid of Gruden, right? That was the same year. Or am I mixing my years up? But, they started to cook a little bit, and then they blew it up. And it's going to happen the same thing this year, bro. Like, we started to cook a little bit last year, and then they blow it up. So it's all down to the front, the clowns in the front office, bro. It all comes down to them clowns in the front that are making decisions that shouldn't be making decisions and shouldn't be running franchises. Even Ben Johnson is what? Iffy? Oh, iffy because the coordinator and staff is going to bring. yeah, we don't know who he even has in mind, right? Oh, he may be a product of the Lions organization and the team was given, and the team he was given, Raiders need someone that can burn it down and rebuild it. And who's out there? Who's out there? I don't think. Look, I'm tired of getting these old ass, washed up, fucking 50-year-old coaches that don't, know players. That's why Antonio Pierce was brought in. He was a player's player, right? He knows player. He knows what players want. He supposedly knows what players need, how to be talked to, which we haven't seen of that too much, but supposedly that's why he's here, right? We need these young guys that can communicate. These guys are a different nature. They're a different beast. In my opinion, they're not as hard as they used to be. We had guys in the NFL back in the day like Ronnie Lott that would cut his fucking finger off just to go back in the game. You got guys now that get turf toe or, break a finger and they're out for 3 weeks. So it's a different mindset. And I think same thing with coaches. You got to have guys that are innovative, that are willing to come up with new offensive styles, new offensive plays that not everybody's running or ran before. I wish I could get Brian Flores, DC, but he wants to be a head coach. I mean, would you not bring him in as head coach? Would you not bring Brian Flores in as head coach? At this point, I don't think, that's going to be on. I definitely don't think that's going to be on Brady's list, but I'd bring him in as DC if Patrick Graham doesn't go. But like you said, he wants to be a head coach. Do we give him that shot? I don't know. I don't know what kind of head coach you'd be. And do we need another defensive head coach? Like, we have the defensive players, obviously. We have some studs. I mean, look at Ja'Cory and Bennett, the Maxx Crosbys of the world. These guys are, we got guys on the bench that need to be playing, like Amari Gaynor. We got some young guys like Tommy Eichenberg. We got young guys on here. Kamarian Richardson, tall, fast, strong, lengthy. We have players but they need to be built. They need to be built the right way. And I think, like I said, with all the distractions and shit's going on, people are just, too much in their head. I take Robert Saleh as DC, right? I take Saleh in a minute, bro. He's a better DC than Patrick Graham, in my opinion. Ben Johnson is going to be a good head coach. Most offensive coordinators are, if they can just get a right defensive coordinator, right? Because you got to have both. You got to be able to stop the run. You got to be able to hold teams to a certain amount. And your offense has to be able to score points over that amount, right? To win games. So I don't know. There's not a lot of guys out there that you could bring in that aren't older coaches. Vrabel's not that old, but did he really do that good in Tennessee? He had decent personnel there. You had owners that are willing to spend money. And how did that work out? So a lot of these guys that are good head coaches are not good at bringing in offensive coordinators or, to help them out. And a lot of the guys that are good defensive coordinators are not very good at bringing in offensive coordinators to help them out. That's a big, huge problem that we seem to have, especially with this organization. We just can't get two guys that work together. With all the Jets organization, all the offense struggles, Robert Saleh always had a good defense year in and year out. Yeah, bro, the dude's track record speaks for itself, and his defense has always stopped the run. He doesn't just get worked and fucking dog walked over and over again. They're disciplined. They play hard. And, like I said, we've been disciplined. I like the fact that Antonio Pierce has done that, but bro, the tackling and the willing to want to play is just nuts, bro. I'm not disputed that, but can't compare the Lions organization that has stability and their roster with the Raiders at Bees. Oh no, bro, you can't Can't compare their coaches either, or their offensive coaches. Obviously, I agree. He's going to go into an organization that will give him a lot of power. I mean, look, when you get that reputation, right? Like Josh McDaniels did, somebody's going to give you that power. Somebody's going to take that chance. Is it the right chance? Well, we don't know until somebody's dumb enough to take that chance, right? But somebody's going to give you that power, especially when you're on a winning franchise and a winning organization that makes the playoffs year in and year out. And it's because of your offense, or you're the guy putting up the offense, or it's because of your defense if you're a defense coordinator. So that happens constantly. But with this organization, you never know who could be the head coach, bro. They can bring Deshaun Foster from UCLA that they let go from being the running backs coach this year as head coach. You never know, bro. Situations can also make someone look better than they possibly are. No shit. Raiders need a head coach that knows how to build an organization from scratch. Gruden is number one for that. Now he built a playoff team 2018, 2021. Bro, I love Gruden. I don't love Gruden. I really don't like Gruden. But I love the fact that he's offensive minded. I like how he gets guys to play for him. But you got to admit, come on, there was this organization, he turned it around, but did he really turn it around? I mean, we weren't doing that good. When Rick Bisaccia took over, that's when they started to play. We were pretty much ass until Bisaccia took over, if I remember correctly. Like, we weren't that great his last time around. And it took a while to rebuild. And I don't think the NFL is ever going to let him be with the Raiders again. And I don't think he's ever going to want to come back to the Raiders again because Mark Davis didn't stand behind him and just fired him when he had a scandal going. Now, I don't know if he could have stayed the coach if they had to fire him, or if they just didn't want the scandal, or they wanted that shit to go away. But yeah, bro, Gruden is not an option to me. Because head coach can build a team in 3 or 4 years. Gruden did that. Yep. Things are looking good. Carr had career years. Russell was about to take off, etc. Then Goodell with his hit job. I mean, yeah, they never liked Gruden. The NFL never likes the Raiders. We are the most hated. We've always been the most hated. We've always been a clown show because of that. But Gruden with the Raiders, I think that time has washed. I think the only way he would ever maybe be back in this organization, and he would never do it, but if they brought him in as offensive coordinator, but I don't think he would ever stoop to that level. I think he knows he's definitely head coach material, and if everything goes right, it'll just be a matter of time before he's back in the NFL. But if he is, bro, I'd take him as an offensive coordinator all day of the week. As a head coach, man, I don't know. As a person, nah, bro. You walked out on this team. You destroyed us in the playoffs, made us look like trash, and then tried to come back and act like everything was fine. It's okay. It's all good. It wasn't my fault. Hell no. It all had to do with Vegas and Goodell hate. Oh, bro, we all know about that. We all know it wasn't Gruden, but those emails were from the first time that he was a Raiders head coach, and probably before that. Can we get Crosby from y'all? Yeah, 3 first rounds, bro. Come get him. We will give y'all a first. Oh, 2 firsts, a first and 25, a first and 26. And we'll give y'all, I thought it said a meek for a second. And we will give y'all, who the hell? Arnold, what? A Beckety? I don't even know who that is. But, I mean, okay. 2 first rounds and whoever that dude is he any good? I'll have to look up. But I'd rather have Gibbs. If you want to give Gibbs and 2 first, then we can talk. But I'm not the general manager. D Menace in the building. Fuck, how far behind in this chat am I? All right, I got to read all these and then talk. We need help on the edge. Crosby, Miles, Garrett, or Reddick. Yeah, y'all definitely. Hey, you're in that window. We talked about it. You're definitely in that championship window, and you definitely need to do something. Falcons just need edge help. Falcons. Thought you were talking about Detroit. What the hell? I'm lost. All right, I gotta read this. 100, 100, 100. Do you think Brady is going to actually do anything for us? See, that's what we talked about. I don't want to keep going back because I don't know how many people are going to go back and watch this live, but not too many people. If I keep repeating myself, they're going to be like, damn, this dude just talks in circles. But I don't know what his role will be. You know, Mark Davis said a different thing about Richard Seymour than he said about Tom Brady. So I'm going to do my homework. I'm going to get to the bottom of it. I'm going to find out what he could actually do. But just his presence in the building. And, you know, I don't know if you heard it before, but I played a tape of Gronkowski talking about, you know, what Tom Brady brings to an organization. And the fact that he can look at a player within 2 minutes and tell you, you know, watch him on film and tell you his strengths, his weaknesses, and, you know, how to go about beating that dude. So if he has that ability and he brings that ability to the Raiders, you know, even if he's not allowed to work for the organization because he owns the organization, just that ability on film in the film room, you know, in Mark Davis's ear or AP's ear or Tom Telesco's ear or whoever ear he gets to get in, is going to help the hell out of this organization. And I hope it, you know, it helps us before I heard this. It could, you know, it could flip flop. He can dwindle his way and end up taking over the organization somehow and being owner because some crazy shit. You never know. I'm going to the Falcon games to watch the Birds play the Raiders here on December 16th here in Vegas. I live here, been here 8 years, been a Falcons fan since 1998. Nice. So give me your score prediction. What do you think the score is? Falcons Raiders. And shout out for coming in. Appreciate you. It's not often I get so many fans from other teams. This is awesome. Usually I just get the same couple people. So, man, I appreciate y'all for pulling up. I've been riding this wave since 2021. My guy, I've been riding this wave since 1975, bro. Since 1975. And that just made me want to throw up in my mouth for saying that, really. Just really did, bro. I'm not going to fucking... Damn. I read that. I need to start starting these. All right. Brady will help to train the quarterback. He will also take a big part of the football operations, part of the organization. I don't know if he can, though, bro. I'm about the shield. Oh, you know, D Menace in the building. Facts, D Menace. It's all about the shield. Mac only got 3 first. Yeah, bro, but that was a different time. And I don't think, like, I mean, you could say that, but I don't remember Mac being in defense. Was he in the defensive player of the year running? I don't know. Did he get votes? I don't know. I don't think he was that much better than Maxx. I mean, yeah, he's a dominating force. But Maxx developed very, very quickly into a damn machine. There's an echo again? What the fuck? Only Brady and Trump can save the Raiders now. What's Trump got to do with this? Donald Trump? How's he getting this? The truth. Shout out. Brady looked 13. Maxx Crosby wants to be a Cowboy. Come on, bro. No caps. We don't do caps in here. I'm just stating facts and possibilities. Why would the Raiders get filled? Some of these takes, I swear, right? Like, why was you back? What's good? Cool Kevin the building. Yeah, like why would you go get a quarterback that you had a chance to get for a 6th round pick next year and flopped on? Makes no sense. Makes no sense. Especially a quarterback that just got benched for throwing 160 yards and running for what, less than 100? What did he run for? Samir White is carrying my fantasy team. Is carrying your fantasy team where? Into the ground? That dude ain't carrying nobody's fantasy team, bro. I cut him off my fantasy team. The Raiders are killing me, dude. I had Devontae, I had Brock, I had Jacoby, and I had Trey Tucker. Not all on the same team, but on 2 different fantasy teams. And the Raiders have just destroyed this season, bro. I'm about to pack it in. But I'm still fighting. I'm still making plays. Still picking guys and trying to swap out. Still trying to get some free agencies and cut guys because my roster is trash, dude. Trash. But I'm hanging in there. AP needs to find coaches that adjust on the fly. Facts. Salute to the nation. AP eats hamburgers and yells to the sidelines. Is he eating hamburgers on the sidelines? That's crazy. Lawrence, my guy, what's good? What's good? Wild Turkey, what's good? What's good? Salute. I ain't even see y'all in here because I'm so far behind in the chat, but I think I almost caught up. Robert Pena, what's good? Hey, all my peeps in here. D-Menace, just talking about the chat. Keep Nate Hobbs. I mean, yeah, I would love to keep Nate Hobbs, but I don't know. The possibilities are looking slim, man. It just depends on how we decide to go. Pena says F tanking. All right, damn, number 2s. 2, 2, 2, 1, 2. Damn, there's a lot of 2s. Okay. Well, I did not think that was going to go like that. I really thought it would be the other way. Salute my brother. Salute. Dixon Carter, what's good, my brother? Sitter, not Carter. What the fuck am I saying? Is it Cider? What was Belichick without Brady? That's what I'm saying, bro. He wasn't shit without Brady or without Dick Daniels. It was all like it's a system, bro. There's never ever one coach in the NFL, in the history of the NFL, that has been that guy. It's always had to do with his offensive coordinator, with his staff, with their running backs, with their quarterbacks, all that shit, bro. It has to do with all that. It's a team sport. It's always been a team sport. So you can have all these great coaches. You can bring in Ben Johnson. You can bring in Solik. You can bring in these guys, but it all comes down to how good are they at building a roster or building, a coaching staff around them. Depends on their style. It depends on a lot. Chargers always had talent. They just needed a competent coach. Yeah, but I mean, come on, dude. They came in with a new defensive coordinator, a new offensive coordinator, a new coach, and a new special teams coach, and they looked the way they did. Like, I just did not see that going. Now, see, that's a guy that knows football, that knows how to build a staff, that knows how to build a team, and people thought he was crazy coming in, cutting your running backs, cutting your receivers, going and getting some scrubs as a running back, some scrubs as a receivers, not throwing the ball and running the shit out of ball and just dominating on defense. Like, I didn't see that coming, bro. I did not see it coming. I figured the Chargers were going to be a damn good team because all Harbaugh's teams are good, but I did not see them being good this year. I figured it would be next year. They would be above 500. Will they be a playoff team? I didn't know. But they're definitely going to be a playoff team next year if they continue like this. Like, I did not expect the turnaround to be that good. And I thought, the Broncos, donkeys with Bo Nix, I figured it was going to take them a while. But, bro, they coming around too. Bo Nix, man, that kid looking better than a lot of people. A lot of people said that dude was trash. I would never, ever draft that dude. Yeah, Bo Nix don't look too bad. He definitely looks better than what we got. The fact that he can run. Is he a more accurate passer than Aiden? I don't think so. But does he have a stronger arm? I don't know. But he can definitely move around and make plays with his legs, which is why we went with the quarterback we went. That isn't helping. We all have to realize Brady and Belichick don't have a relationship that y'all think they do. That's what I've been thinking and saying is Belichick and Brady never really were that tight, but Brady knows football. Brady knows Belichick knows football. Brady knows that if you want to turn an organization around quick and you need it to be disciplined and you need a guy that knows personnel and can build a staff, dude, Belichick's that guy. I mean, Belichick is that guy. And Tom Brady, it doesn't matter if he doesn't like him because he's just the owner. How many times do you see Mark Davis talking with our coaches, our general manager? It's not very often, so I don't think that really has to do with it, but he's all about winning. Brady's about winning. Belichick's about winning. Brady left New England for a reason. I mean, I know. Because it was falling apart. Their defense started getting soft. The Dick Daniels was trying to go be a head coach. They weren't getting all the little small slant fast receivers. Gronk was getting up there in age. And Belichick. Everybody knows that team was Tom Brady, bro. Tom Brady got what he wanted. He said what he wanted. He did what he wanted. Brian Flores as head coach or DC. My number one is Gruden. For head coach, give Robert Sala the defense and kill it with the players we have. See, I don't think that's going to be I don't think it's going to be that fast. I believe the players we had were better than they were. There's a lot of guys that are half-stepping, that aren't doing their job, that don't have the heart that I thought they did, and don't have the character that I thought they did. So we're going to have to make some changes. We're going to have to get rid of some guys, and it's going to be a minute. And I don't think Gruden is on that list. I mean, I could be wrong, bro. There could be a plan in place to bring Gruden back. There's a lot of people that says there's already a plan in place that if AP fails, Gruden is going to be that guy. We know how Mark Davis feels about Gruden. Obviously, he brought him back twice. I mean, we know that he never wanted to fire him in the first place, but he did. And will Gruden want to come back and work with Mark Davis knowing that he fired him? I just don't see that happening, man. Is he the best coach for the job? For the coaches out there, maybe. But again, he did a lot with a lot of players, but look at the draft picks, bro. Some of those draft picks were trash. Very, very trash. Alex Leatherwood. I mean, bro, come on. There's so many guys. Jonathan Abrams wasn't great. Damon Arnett. Yeah, come on, man. I don't know about Gruden. I don't know if I could take that shit again. Mark was already getting tired of losing when Gruden was here. The writing was on the wall, bro. He paid him $100 million for 10 years, and he wasn't living up to that shit at all. Absolutely at all. And Gruden was all right coach, bro, but he wasn't great, and he's not God. He's not the savior. And I guess there's just too much shit that went on that I don't think he'll ever be in a Raider coaching uniform again. McBeezy, how are you, my brother? What's good? Wild Turkey in the building. Shout out Wild Turkey. I have not seen you. I don't think I've seen you in any of my lives. I see you in everybody else's. I know your work schedule, but glad to see you in here, bro. Appreciate it. What did Gruden do? Question. Look at all them first round picks that sucked ass. See, that's what I just said. We think alike because I just spoke it before I read your question, which is pretty cool. I did think Gruden be better. What? Do I think Gruden could be better if he only coaches and has no say as the roster? Yes. I mean, but he's not going to do that. We know Gruden's not going to do that. We know how John Gruden is. He wants full control. He was one of those coaches that has to have everything. He has to be in charge of everything, make all the decisions. And we know Mark Davis likes that. We know Mark Davis is giving Tom Telesco free reign right now. He said in his presser talking about Brady that, those were decisions that Tom Telesco and Antonio Pierce were going to make because they have full reign, which scares the shit out of me because that's how DC got traded. Giving guys full reign and not being in. Yes, they have to call, they have to verify with them. They have to go over it with them. But if these guys, he believes so much in Tom Telesco, if he says, look, our best thing is to trade Maxx Crosby, I believe Mark would be on board for the right price. Absolutely, absolutely. Yeah, maybe, but that's not what would happen. Exactly. That's what I said. There's no way that Gruden's coming back and not having full authority or full reign on everything. Next. Best thing we did, bringing in Crosby and Waller. I mean, look what he did with Waller. Look, I'm not saying Gruden was the man on offense, bro. I love Gruden. Like, he got the best out of a guy that was on somebody's practice squad in Waller and made him one of the best tight ends. Did it only last for 1 year? Yeah, but I mean, look at with Henry Ruggs, bro. Henry Ruggs, the speed. It was cooking, bro. It was cooking at that time. But we had no defense, and we lost games in the fourth quarter. I'm not even sure Gruden picked Crosby. Seems like it was a Mayock pick. I mean, yeah, but it's hard to say. It was a team, bro. When you're in the draft, in the draft in the war room, bro, there is no one guy that says I want this guy and everybody agrees. It's definitely talked about between everybody in there. It would have been Patrick Graham, the offensive coordinator, everybody. Like, there's 15 people in there all coming down to it, and I don't think Mayock had enough to say, I want this kid, and Gruden was like, no. I think Gruden definitely had his eyes on Maxx Crosby. Gruden's not a shitty judge of talent. The dude's a very, very brilliant man when it comes to talent. I could see Gruden definitely wanting a guy like Maxx Crosby. I mean, look at the Arnett pick, I think was him. The Abrams pick was him. He's all about that, I'm not into making dreams. I'm into making fucking nightmare stuff. So I could see Gruden being a lot involved in that pick. Yeah, it was always the way or the highway, the stubbornness, and that ego. Yep, and that's where we're at right now, right? Stubbornness and egos. Oh, in my opinion, if Gruden came back as head coach only, no GM. Yeah. I mean, you gotta. Well, let's talk about this. If you bring him back, who's the GM? Do you keep Tom Telesco or do you bring back Mike Mayock? I mean, would you rather have Mike Mayock or Tom Telesco as GM? It is extremely unlikely Gruden never comes back to the NFL. He hates Goodell. Goodell hates him. And it's not a good look for the franchise to bring him back after those emails were released. No, it's not a good look. And we know the NFL hates him. He hates the NFL. And look, this guy's probably gonna make enough money on YouTube with his show he's got over there, and all the commercials and shit he does, plus his coaching, training quarterbacks on the side, bro. The man got paid $100 million to coach 3 years in Vegas. I don't think he needs a job. I think he's fine. I don't even know why we're talking about it. Just, that $100 million made me throw up in my mouth again. They just fucking give money away like it's candy. You got homeless vets on the streets, starving, dying in wheelchairs. And we're paying coaches $100 million to coach for 3 years. Fucking crazy, bro. Crazy. Milk Beezy, it's not up to us. We can wish all we want. Yeah. But like my stepdad used to always say, wish in one hand, shit in the other. See which one comes first. I'm just saying. That's why I didn't let any of the teams control my emotions anymore. Is that what it is? Teams will do what they want, and they just have to accept it. 100%, right? There ain't shit we can do about it. We're not owners. We don't have their money. We have no control. We've had more control in this organization since I've been a fan in the last year than ever. It was definitely the fans that got AP in, with a little help of the team and Aiden O'Connell performing way, way above his ability, that got AP the job. And man, sometimes we shouldn't have a say when it comes down to the way shit's looking right now, right? Classic OG, what's good? Raiders are trash. So is your mom, bro. See, that's what's the problem. Too much playing around, too many cigars, and too much buddy. There's no accountability. And we've talked about that for a long, long time on this show. The Soul Train, I get it. It's at the end of practice. It's the rookie, the rookie haze, whatever you want to call it, bro. But when you're doing all this high five, knuckle smack, patty cake bakers, man, all the shit the little girls used to do at second grade, every time you make a play, when you get paid to make that play, when you make a tackle in the NFL, that is not a rah-rah moment to be up celebrating. When you make a tackle in the loss, in the backfield, a tackle for a loss, Christian Wilkins, and you're over there, twerking and shit for 5 minutes after one fucking play when you only got like 12 tackles all year, that shit is nonsense, bro. And then when you're over there like Maxx Crosby and Jack Jones, this is just my opinion, and you're patty caking after every play, and every time you do it, it's a new routine. That shit takes time, bro. You don't just learn a little handshake and that shit overnight, bro. You're doing that constantly. I seen little girls, in grade school doing that shit. It would take them weeks before they could be able to do like that, pop, smacking hands, switching and all that shit. It took them a long time to be able to get that coordination down. And that's way more time than you need to be doing that shit, bro. I don't know if they're doing it at home or you ain't out in the club trying to fucking learn your celebration dances. So, yeah, I would love to see way more effort in tackling than celebration dances. And, every time we have a victory, not only do we get Monday off, which Monday's usually a day off, right? Anyways, teams recover. They might come in the building and have a walkthrough or, a meeting or something. Mondays you usually get off. But Monday and Tuesday on a team that's getting blown out by 30 points a game, that's giving up 350 yards passing and 150 yards rushing, and you're taking Monday and Tuesday off because of one victory, that's horrible coaching, bro. That's horrible coaching. That's you trying to be a player's coach. That's you trying to be a friend. That's you trying to get on these guys' good side. And you see how everybody's happy as soon as, victory Monday. Now it's victory Monday and Tuesday. And to me, that's why you're losing, bro. You can't, we are not good enough. We are not good enough at all on offense, defense, or any aspect of playing football to take Monday and Tuesday off. And even if Monday, Tuesday's just a walkthrough and meetings also, those are days that you need for that meeting so you can have the rest of the days to practice. practice. Yeah, practice. You got to practice constantly. To figure we had an offense when we finally get a defense, the offense sucks. Bro, that happens all the time. It's just the way it goes in Raider Nation. You get offense, you have no defense. You get a defense, you have no offense. You know, we thought we had a defense last year, right? But then it come to find out we don't. Everybody, even me, I was like, bro, top 10 defense. This is going to be the best defensive line the Raiders have ever had in the history of their franchise if they stay healthy. Well, they didn't stay healthy. They didn't stay healthy at all. And we are not even close to being even the 10th best defensive line the Raiders have had in history. So that all comes down to coaching, bro. We had the players. We definitely had the players on this defensive line until Kuntz got hurt to be up there. We need to stop with the Maxx trade rumors because Maxx isn't going anywhere. Yeah, bro, come on. You can't say that. We said that about Devontae. You're probably one of those guys when I said Devontae's going to be traded at the end of this year and he won't be here past this year, was saying no way, you would never trade. Because I remember, Chat Sports and Mitchell Wren saying, oh, there's no way Devontae will ever be traded. The guy said he wants to be here, licking the dude's nuts on everything he says. Raph, what's good, my guy? Classic OG, what's good? Just balls in hand, licking away on that sack, saying he ain't going nowhere. And sure enough, he was out the door. So, bro, when you're in a rebuild and you have a player like Maxx Crosby that can put your organization where it needs to be for many, many years to come by getting rid of him, you have to do it. You have to do it if you're offered that. Nobody's offered that yet, but if it's offered, you have to, bro. Jesus Mraz, yeah, I don't know where that shit started. Well, bro, here, let me show you where it started. Let me show you where it started.
With the trade, do you think the team is closer to building towards a win now mode or closer to a rebuild mode?
I don't believe in, I'm not here to rebuild, I'm here to win. So, I don't know whatever that means, but yeah, I'm here to win now. And wherever I'm going to be, I'm going to be here to win. So.
I'm not in tank mode. I don't say that word. I'm in win now mode. And whether it's here or wherever I'm going to be, Maxx Crosby's words. So this ain't shit that's stirring up. It's shit that came out of Maxx Crosby's mouth. Why would you have to say, you've said it a million times, you want to be here, you don't want to go anywhere else? Why put that out there in the universe and say whether it's here or wherever I'm going to be, I'm here to win? Come on. He said on the rush. I mean, go watch the beginning of the video. I'm not going to go back over it again, but I played that 4, 5, 6, 7 times now. But that's where it came up, my guy. That's where it came up. It's not, no clickbait. Nobody starting shit. Nobody being crazy. It's something that Maxx Crosby said that everybody's running with it. And I'm not the only one running with it. I was going to make a video yesterday as soon as I watched it because I was like, what the hell did he just say? Why would he even say that? Why would you put that out there for people to pick apart, bro? Like, you're putting that in the air for people. And this is the shit I'm talking about. These guys in press conferences are saying shit they shouldn't say. And then they wonder why we're in the media being talked about constantly and we're the joke of the fucking NFL. This is why we're the joke of the NFL. Because people say stupid shit and then people run with it. But when you have your best player say, I'm not into tanking, I'm here to win. If they're not here to win, that's him saying, I'm not here to tank. If you're here to tank, let me go. That's my opinion. Like, I'm not here to tank. I'm here to win now. Whether it's here or wherever, I'm here to win. That's Maxx Crosby's words. Raph in the building. 2 different generations now. They soft as shit, right? 100%, bro. They soft like wet toilet paper and shit. 7. What's 7? 7 what? I don't know what 7 means. Now they got to learn to dance before they can learn to tackle. Right? Well, come on, man. That whole dancing thing is, if you could see the video last not even 2 minutes, like it's a minute or a minute and a half. So it's one or two guys at the end of every practice, getting their rookie fucking whatever you call it. And rookie hazing, but you can't say hazing no more because they don't do that in the NFL. But it's just these guys, trying to get rookies to lighten up. Because you got to admit, when you come into the NFL as a rookie, bro, you're not vocal right away. You're timid. You're probably, you don't know when to speak up, when to talk. And they're just trying to get these guys to come out of their shells. That's all that is. It's a couple, a minute and a half, 2 minutes at the end of practice. It's not in the middle of practice. It's not all day. So, I don't care about that shit. The main thing is the smoking cigars in a locker room after you win a game that you shouldn't won, that the Ravens handed to us. And the same thing with the Cleveland game, bro. Like, the games that we won, we could have easily lost and shouldn't have won. So when you have shit like that and you're smoking cigars in the locker room afterwards, that's bad, bro. That's bad. Saints could not score. Well, there's some guy over here that's a big fan of the Saints and their quarterback Spencer Rattler, and he's even gone as far to say, Spencer Rattler should have been drafted by the Raiders. Spencer Rattler is that guy. He's way better than Aiden O'Connell, right? Well, I believe in Aiden O'Connell's first start as an NFL quarterback. He got sacked 6 times and still almost brought us back to win. Will Spencer Rattler be a good quarterback? I mean, you're sitting behind Derek Carr learning a lot. But the NFL is a whole different dog, bro. It's a whole different beast. It's a whole different speed. And I think Spencer Rattler has, a chance to be a good quarterback. But there's a reason Caleb Williams took his job in Oklahoma. And there's a reason he went to South Carolina. Where'd he go? Right? South Carolina? I don't know. But wherever he went. And there's a reason his draft stock fell off. Maybe it's his character. Maybe it's his arm. Maybe it's the fact that he was pouting walking off the field because he took a sack. I don't know. But according to somebody that's, that guru, and nobody wants that smoke when it comes to evaluating players against, that's their guy. And he would way rather have Spencer Rattler, right? 2021, that team with Gruden, Bisaccia is no different between AC. Not head coach material. If Gruden was there, Ruggs probably never killed that girl. What? Bro, now come on. That's just crazy talk. You're speculating, talking crazy shit out your ass, bro. I love you, my guy, LVR, but that's just crazy, dude. You can't say if Gruden was there at that point that Ruggs wouldn't have been drinking, acting a fool, or that nobody was there would have been smart enough to take the fucking idiot's keys and not let the dude drive a $250,000 car when you got a contract in the NFL. Leaky, what's good, my guy? When you got $1 million contract in the NFL and you got a chance to be one of the top receivers with your speed. Bro, come on. You can't say that shit is Bisaccia's fault because Gruden wasn't there. Come on, bro. Come on, man. That's just crazy talk. That's one of the wildest shits I ever heard, really. What's good, nation? What it do, my guy? Appreciate you showing up. The Raiders should bring back John Gruden as Raiders head coach. Bro, we talked about this, bro. Gruden's not coming back. It's not happening. Everybody's saying what's good, what's good, what's good, what's good, what's good. Holy fuck, I've been on here 3.5 hours. Dude, I gotta get off here. Why you guys do this to me? Get me talking Raiders. I could talk this shit all day. Andy Reid eats hamburgers. AP busy smoking cigars, not throwing flags or managing the clock. Yes, facts. Raiders were so desperate they had to hire Getsy. But man, let's call a spade, right? That was Antonio Pierce's guy. He said, I liked Getsy for what they did, for what they did to us in the Chicago game. He liked his toughness, the grittiness on the run game, the way they beat us with Tyson Badgett, what he did with the quarterback situation. And the bro came here and just shit the bed, dude. He came here and shit the bed. So yeah, Getsy was, he wasn't even our second pick, right? It was Queensberry, it was Clint Kubiak, and then they waited too long to get Kubiak, and he went to the Saints, and they had to go with Getsy, bro. He was third string. He was third choice. Repeat the question for the ones and twos. I missed it. Shit, I don't even remember what it was. I don't know, bro. You have to go back and watch the video. That was a while ago. And I'm so fucking, you guys chat so fast, I can never keep up with this shit. Dustin and I saw it coming. We kept speaking on it. Facts. All right, I gotta read this shit fast. Oh yeah, 1 for tanking. Oh wait, 1 for tank, 2 for fuck tank. Yeah. I don't think that's how it was put, but yeah, if you want the Raiders to tank, type 1 in the chat. If you say no tank, 2 in the chat. And I should have did a poll because I don't know where it's at. And maybe after I get to these, if I ever get through these 3.5 hours later, that's not true. Gruden team went toe-to-toe with the Bengals and Burrow. What was not true? I don't know. Gruden built a playoff team in 3 seasons. Yeah, he did build a playoff team in 3 seasons, but it wasn't a playoff team when he left, bro. We had a losing. Didn't we have a losing record? Didn't we have a losing record when he left? Bisaccia turned that shit around, and it was the same thing you talked about with AP. This guy comes in. It's a new coach. The players are pumped up, trying to prove that they're better than the old coach, and it was his fault that they were ass. When really, if you look at this team right now, it really wasn't all Dick Daniels' fault, and it's starting to show. Gruden did not go to toe with the Bengals. He was fired earlier in the season. Then you mean Rich Bisaccia? Yeah, that's what I'm saying, bro. It wasn't Gruden. It was Bisaccia. Bisaccia brought this team to the playoffs. It was Gruden's team. It was Mayock's, draft picks. It was Gruden's offense. Yes, all that. But bro, come on. Been listening, doing stuff. Appreciate you. Rebel was good. Fuck, how old are these chats, bro? But let's get real. Elephant in the room. Brady is part owner of the Shield. 57528. What's good? Brady is part. So what's your take on that? What do you think he's going to do? What's his game plan? Like we talked about it. Go back and watch the video. If you missed it, I'd appreciate it. Great show, Rebel. Look, I'm going to sleep because I have a show in the morning talking Raiders. See y'all there. Facts. I'll pull up. Y'all go check out Raph if you haven't already. He has a great show. Okay, Rebel. I didn't see that Maxx take LOL. See, that's what I'm saying, bro. And go back and watch the rest of the video. Restart it. Fall asleep watching in the Raiders Rebel. And if y'all don't know, I have a playlist. And in case you can't sleep, the best way to fall asleep is to put on my boring ass videos on a playlist and just let that shit play and listen to all my lives. And there you go. It would help me out. It'll help you sleep. and everybody will be great. Sounds to me like he could leave. Yeah, it's kind of sounding like that. It just depends on who wants to offer that money. Max been talking too much. Yeah, bro, you can't always be in there. AP Rebel didn't say. Wait. Raider Rebel. Didn't AP say the problem even being in pads this week? Yep. Yep, he said they wouldn't be in pads. They might get to pads Friday. When did they stop doing that? Don't sound like much of a practice. Maybe that's the problem. See, that's the thing is they have it worked out where Monday's, an off day, Tuesday's a meeting, Wednesday's a walkthrough, Thursday, Friday you run some plays, Saturday you're on a plane or, whatever meetings if you're in a home game. So there's not much tackling. That's why I keep going back to the fact that I think these guys are a little overworked. Look at all the injuries. Look at how guys are getting gassed at the end of the plays, at the end of, in the second half. We get cooked in the second half. And I think it's because, we had 1,200 plays in the OTAs. No team had as many snaps in the OTAs as we did. And if you look at the snap count, that's almost equivalent to a whole entire season. I think it's like 15 games. If you look at, 100 or 1,200 snaps, bro, 1,200 snaps is almost equivalent to a full season that these guys did in 2 months or 6 weeks of the off season. That's a lot. That's a lot of wear and tear. And I think it was too much on these guys. I think he went too hard, way too hard in OTAs. And there was constantly guys getting hurt, full pads. He said, we're not holding back constantly. And now we're not even practicing because guys are so beat up that we can't even afford to practice. And if you can't practice in the NFL against teams that you're going against that you know nothing about, especially teams, that have new offensive coordinators and don't have much on film, except for a couple games this year, we don't stand a chance, bro. We're in a no-win situation. If the Raiders lose again to the Rams, I can see it being time for AP or Luke. Look, I don't see them getting fired this year. I said it before, and I'm gonna say it again. I don't see us looking that stupid because who are we going to replace them with? We're not going with another interim coach because if we win with the interim coach, then we lose a draft, a chance of being in a top draft. And if we win, if we win with that guy, then, and if we lose, then, it's no big deal. But then we still got to go find a new head coach. You got to bring in a whole nother guy. You're going through the same thing. 2 coaches in a year again. That's just too much on the franchise. It's too much on the players, on the coaching staff, on the, even the people that work in the building trying to remember guys' names and shit. You finally get, familiar with somebody, and then you got a new head coach and a new offensive coordinator and a new defense coordinator. So I think like they're going to with Aiden O'Connell, whether he's trash, whether he's good, whether we win or lose, I think it's Aiden O'Connell, I think it's Luke Getsy, and I think it's Antonio Pierce for the rest of the season. And then when it comes to that, when it comes, to the end of the season, I could see it. I could see a change. I could see big changes coming on the horizon. Will they be for the good? All we could do is pray, right? My aunt had a cock, she'd be my uncle. Hey, 100%, right? If my Aunt Sally had balls, she'd be my uncle fucking Steve or something. I got you. It's not crazy. This is the problem of coaching being buddy, right? I doubt they would behave now. They did if Gruden was coach. Team behavior is also coaching. In the locker room, like the fact that he don't even go in the locker room and he lets these guys be themselves in the locker room. Like shit, these guys could be smoking crack in the locker room for all you know. Like they could be smoking weed in there. I'm sure you'd smell that, but they could be doing anything in that locker room and you have no idea because you don't even go in there. Like, come on, all coaches go in the locker rooms and talk to guys, especially after games and shit. He's only in there to say his rah-rah speech and then he's in his building. So how much time is he even spending with these guys? That's another thing I'd like to know besides practice. Like, how much time does he even spend with this team? Fans keep talking about John Gruden like he was a SB coach. We haven't won shit and barely won any games with him. We didn't do great, but we had no defense. He couldn't, the offense was fire. But then we fold in the fourth quarter and lose games because defense couldn't, or we'd have plays where we couldn't get our defense off the field and then we couldn't get our offense on the field. So, bro, it's, yeah. You have a good group in here right now. Don't leave. Bro, I got to piss, bro. It's been 3.5 hours since I peed, smoked a cigarette, got high, ate. Shit. Hey, when you leave this live, come see mine on my other channel, Rebel. Facts, facts, facts. Damn. See, nobody's down for tanking. F tanking, right? I don't think we need to tank, bro. I mean, the writing's on the wall. This team is horrible. I'm going to read these real fast. Oh, Gruden wasn't that good. He was a clipboard holder. No, that's AP, bro. That's AP. AP was running Josh McDaniels' system last year. Yeah, and it looked pretty damn good. My boy Dixon, Versace inspired the team after the Ruggs incident, right? Gruden fire. Brady will help pick and train the next quarterback and will also have big influence on football operations. But bro, you just watched the video I played. According to him, they changed the rule last year that minority owners cannot work or be employees for the team. So if you're a minority owner of a franchise, until they change that, Tom Brady can't do shit for this team but give his opinion, the same thing he was doing before he paid to be part owner. It's not any different than what he was doing before. He was allowed in the building before. He could come in and train with these guys all he wanted and show him whatever before, but now he's part owner and he can't do that shit. I think it handicapped him. I could be wrong, bro. I could be wrong. Like I said, I got to do my research, figure everything out, because I really, really do not understand his comments. Gruden built that team from the ground up after 2018 demolition caused. That's what to do when you rebuild and had the team ready in 3 seasons. But Saccio was nothing but the ST coach. Yeah, but like I said, bro, the record was not good when Gruden took over. We didn't have a winning record. We were out of the playoffs. It wasn't even close. Bisaccia came in. We went on a 7-game win streak and made it to the playoffs. We weren't a playoff team. We weren't winning. We didn't have a winning record with Gruden. Yes, it was Gruden's team, but he lost the team. The team wasn't doing that good. It wasn't great. Our defense was trash. I don't care about Brady being part owner, but the question is why us? Feeling like it's a marketing thing and the NFL made the decision for. No, bro, it's not. It's a fucking boy crush that Mark Davis has had on Tom Brady his whole life. I think his whole life. He said it in his press conference. He said 2 years ago or 3 or 4 years ago, whenever Tom Brady was a free agent and left the Patriots, he contacted his agent and said, "Hey, I'd like to have Tom Brady come play for the team. Can you bring him over?" He was supposed to do an interview. Tom Brady ended up signing with the Bucks, and he told his agent, "Keep my number. You know, when this is done, I would still like to talk to Tom Brady, and I'd like to, you know, bring him on to be part of this franchise." And that's how it worked. Like, the agent, you know, when he was done playing with the Bucks, the agent gave him the number. He contacted Mark Davis. They went in and, you know, went in on the Aces, and he's had that boy crush and been buddy with him the whole time. So that's what that is. And, you know, the fact that the Shador thing, you know, Shador thing is a big thing. If you haven't seen it, go look up in the link somewhere in this chat. There's a link. You can go to check it out. The videos of yours truly, Tom Brady, training Shador Sanders. So that's a possibility too. Bisaccia was still the ST coach, but after he left the following season, didn't call plays, scheme or design, etc. Different than AP. No different than AP right now. I don't know. I think Bisaccia was calling plays, wasn't he? He had a playbook in his hand. He was talking to somebody most of the time. Because Gruden didn't have who the fuck was it? Greg Olson. Greg Olson was our offensive coordinator, and Gruden called the plays, bro. So I think Bisaccia called the plays. Olson never called plays, as far as I know. YouTube Hawaii Candy in 10 minutes. Y'all go check her out. Don't leave my chat to do it though. LVR Live. Are you Aussie Raider? Yes, that is Aussie. Dixon, write a million letters. Write letters to design offensive schemes. What? Schemes. Offensive letters. Gruden team without Joe played a huge part. We don't make the playoffs without him. Right? Salute, salute, salute. This chat never ends. Y'all are fucking amazing. If Bisaccia was so good, why didn't any other team pick him up after he left the Raiders? Well, for one, there wasn't too many teams that needed head coaches out there at the moment. And, he's a special teams coach, so nobody's going to bring him in as head coach when you're just a special teams guy. But when you take over as interim head coach and you have camaraderie and a team gets behind you and follows you as a leader like that, then you have to bring the dude back. It was a mistake not to bring him back. Like, maybe it would have turned out like Gruden, but maybe not. We had Gruden's playbook. We had a good offensive coordinator. We had a good playbook. We had tons of stars. We just didn't have a very good defense. But when Bisaccia took over, our defense got better than Gruden was there. That's just my opinion. I'm about to smoke. I'm about to smoke too. Somebody read this. Gruden every year showed improvement. Right now, the team is trending backwards. 100% facts. Where'd I go? Gruden, the team always progressed each year, regardless. I know, but nobody's saying Gruden was bad. Nobody's saying that he didn't help this organization. I'm saying his time helping this organization is fucking done, bro. He's not coming back. We aren't bringing Gruden back. I could be wrong. I've been wrong before. It's happened once or twice. I'm just kidding. But, bro, that dude ain't coming back. The NFL ain't going to allow it. He's not going to allow it. Mark Davis is not going to allow it. I'm not saying Bisaccia is head coach material. No, he wasn't head coach material, but, when you have momentum, right, just like in the NFL, when you have momentum, you ride that wave. And there was big name coaches out there, but come on, the biggest guy we interviewed was Dick Daniels, and I would have never even let that dude in my building after what he did to the Colts and his showing in the Broncos. Why that was even even on the table, bro, I don't know. I'm saying Bisaccia inspired that team because we overachieved. I mean, yeah, we overachieved, but, it's just like we did with Antonio Pierce. When the intern takes over, that team is trying to show that, they are better than the team. And it was the receiver. I mean, it was the head coach. Why they were asked. And that's what they did. And then once they got the guy they wanted, it didn't turn out as great as it should. All right. Got that. Raider Bradley called defensive plays. Bisaccia called ST plays. Blah, 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 blah. AP now. The Raiders just signed another linebacker. Yeah, they signed, fuck is his name? Not John Lynch. Mike Lynch. Brian Lynch. Some kind of Lynch, bro. I don't know. Fuck. Lynch mob. I don't know. I don't know what his name is, but nothing special. I mean, I didn't think K. Lavon Chasen would be anything special, but that dude has impressed the shit out of me. But, man, I appreciate every one of y'all for being up in here. I will be back tomorrow. I don't know what time. Hit the noti button. Like, subscribe, follow. Much love for everybody that stayed with me this long. I appreciate the shit out of you. As we always say, just win, baby. Raiders family for life, baby. Just win. Love y'all. Peace. God, that's a long stream. My arms. Holy fuck.